Hello everyone, welcome to this particular course of Python. My name is Boktiar Ahmed Bappi and I will be your instructor. I'm a data scientist and mentor. I'm having more than 4 years of working experience in the field of Python, machine learning, deep learning, MLOps, generative AI and robotic system. I also have rich experience in the product development. I have already worked with so many multinational company. Even I also work with so many edtech company as a mentor. So if you want to connect with me, so these are my social media, so you can connect me here. As I already have good experience with the industry, so based on my experience, I'm going to teach you this particular Python. So here we'll be more focusing on the hands-on part. We'll be learning like so many examples so that each and everything would be clear in your mind. And here I will also show you some of the project. So that particular project will help you to understand like how to use that particular programming language to solve this particular problem statement. So I'll make sure guys, each and everything would be clear in your mind. So make sure you just complete this particular course. And after completing this particular course, I believe you will be able to understand this particular Python programming. And I believe guys, after completing this particular course, you will become champion in Python. So now guys, let's discuss the agenda for this particular video. Like what are the things we are going to cover in this particular video. So as you can see, first of all, definitely I will give you the introduction of the Python. Like why Python is so popular and why we have to learn this particular Python. After that, we'll be learning the installation and the environment setup of the Python, because there are so many environment, there are so many actually technique you can use to run this particular Python programming. So I'll tell you some of the alternative as well. You can execute your code there. Okay. And we'll also do the local setup. Like for the local setup, what are the tools and like software you have to install. I'll tell each and everything. Then once we are ready with that particular installation, I'll start with our first hands-on, which is nothing but our first program in Python. So guys, in every programming language, if you see whenever people start with that particular programming language, they just write their first program, which is nothing but hello world. So that particular program will be also writing in this particular Python. So instead of talking too much guys, let's start with our agenda. So there is a quick definition of Python, what exactly this Python is. So you can see Python is a high-level general purpose programming language. Its design philosophy emphasizes code readability with the use of significant indentation. So what does it mean? I'll tell you each and everything. I'll just clarify. As of now, just try to get it. This is a definition of the Python. So Python is nothing but it's a high-level general purpose programming language. So it has actually one beautiful design philosophy. So this particular design philosophy helps a programmer for the code readability and code reusability. I'll be more discussing about what is code readability, what is code reusability. There is a concept called object-oriented programming. We'll be learning this particular object-oriented programming also inside Python. There actually we'll be learning about the code reusability. And code readability wise, actually, you will automatically get the idea whenever we'll be doing the coding inside Python. You will see that it's like a very easy programming language. So if you know English language, you will be able to understand this particular Python program. So that much actually easy it is. Okay. So now let's discuss about like why Python. Okay. So there are so many programming languages over the market, but why Python? Okay. Why Python is so popular and why we have to learn the Python. So there are some points actually I have mentioned here. You can see. So the first point actually I can say it's easy to learn. Okay, it's like very easy to learn. As I already told you, if you know English language, you will be able to write the code inside Python. Okay, that much easy it is. Now the second actually point you can see the design philosophy, as I already told you. So as I already told you, it has one beautiful design philosophy. So this particular design philosophy helps a programmer for the code readability and code reusability. I'll be discussing this part in more detail. Okay, so no need to worry. And the third point actually you can see the batteries included. So batteries included means it's not actually actual batteries. Batteries means like it is having already lots of predefined function. Okay, predefined function and method. So this will help you to write your code in a faster way. So this particular functionality is not available inside other programming language. So let's take an example. Let's say there are a list of number. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now what you want to do? You want to reverse that particular number. That means 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So in other programming language, what you have to do, you have to write that particular code from scratch. Okay, to reverse that particular number. But inside Python, actually, we already have one predefined method. Okay, predefined method means predefined function. With the help of that predefined function, what you can do, you can pass that particular list of the number. It will automatically do the reverse operation for you. Okay, so this is called batteries included. So likewise, actually, we are having so many functions, so many methods inside Python. So this will like make your task very much easy, and you can write like very faster code here. Okay, and whenever you will be implementing any kinds of product and software, your task would be very much easy because so many things are already available inside Python. You can use as it is. Okay, without any kinds of hesitation. And the fourth point, actually, you can see general purpose. So Python is a general purpose programming language. I think you saw from the definition. So what is general purpose? General purpose means you can use Python anywhere. Let's say you want to do software engineering with the help of Python, you can do it. Let's say you want to do data science with the help of Python, you can do it. Let's say you want to do web development with the help of Python, you can do it. Let's say you want to do blockchain with the help of Python, you can do it. So it's a general purpose programming language. You can use this particular programming language anywhere. Okay, anywhere you can use this particular programming language. That's why it's called actually general purpose programming language. And the fifth very important actually point I have mentioned here, which is nothing but libraries and community support. So Python is having so many libraries, guys, so many actually pre-built library. Okay, different library with respect to different domain. Let's say if you want to work with the machine learning. So in machine learning, there are so many library. Okay, you will see it is already predefined library. So you can install that particular library and you can use those functionality for the machine learning task. Okay, so it is having like thousands library, guys. You can use it for all the domain. And one amazing support you will get, which is nothing but community support. So it is having larger community over the internet. So whenever you are facing any kinds of issue with your code, you can post over the community. Instantly you will get the response. Okay, instantly your issue would be resolved. And it is having like very larger community. So day by day, actually, they are trying to improve the Python. They're bringing lots of libraries, lots of packages inside Python. Okay, so which is missing in the other programming language, I can say. So that's why this Python is so popular nowadays. It was not popular, but currently it has been popular because of this particular point. Okay, so I hope, guys, this makes sense right now why Python is so popular and why you have to learn the Python. Okay, so guys, now let's try to see the installation of the Python and its environment setup. So guys, there are so many ways you can use Python. I will show you a couple of them. So with the help of this particular tool, actually, you can use Python. So the first tool, actually, you can see, which is nothing but the official Python installer. So this particular official Python installer, you can install in your operating system and you can use that particular Python programming language. That means you can execute your code there. And the second one, you can install something called Anaconda. So Anaconda environment. So this particular Anaconda tool is like more advanced than this particular official Python like installer, because it is having so many things integrated with it. Let's say if you want to do the machine learning, deep learning, data science kinds of work, so already lots of packages would be pre-installed inside this particular Anaconda environment. Okay, let's say you want to set up one particular package inside Python. If you're using official let's say Python installer, there actually you may get some of the issue. For this, you have to install additional tool. Okay, but if you're using Anaconda, so you don't need to install any additional tool. Okay, so Anaconda will make your task very much easy. So these are actually local setup. This is actually I'm telling for the local setup. If you want to set up this particular software in your local machine, that time you can either use this particular Python official installer, otherwise you can use Anaconda, right? So guys, there is another alternative tool called Google Collaboratory. You can see. So with the help of Google Collaboratory also, you can execute this particular Python program. But it is not a local setup actually. This particular Google Collaboratory actually will get in the remote server. So in the Google server actually it is available. So in the internet only you can execute your code. If you have the internet connection, there actually you can execute your code. Okay. So you will have one virtual machine there, virtual computer there. That means it will have the RAM, CPU, okay, then GPU, everything you will get here in that particular machine. So inside that actually you can execute your code. So let's say if you don't have actually good configuration like computers, so what you can do, you can use this particular Google Colab. Okay, but if you're doing Python program, guys, I don't think you need a good configuration machine, because all of the code you can execute in your system only whatever system you are using. But if you are doing advanced kinds of work, let's say if you're doing machine learning, deep learning, okay, web development, these kinds of work, that time actually you should have actually good configuration machine. There actually you have to install so many tools and technology. Okay, but if you want to do as an experiment as of now, you can use this particular Google Collaboratory. So this particular three tool I will show you. So first of all, let me show you the official Python like installer. So for this, I'm going to open up my Google. So here you can search about Python org. So this is the official Python website, guys. You can see Python org. So here actually we'll get this particular installer. So if you just click on the download, and you can see the download for Windows. Even it is also available for the other operating system like Mac OS, Linux. Okay, all the operating system it is available. Now you can see the current Python version is 3.12.4. Okay, if you want to install the older version of the Python, you can also do it. So there is a list of the download option is available. You can see. So Python 3.11, 10, 9. Okay, so everything is available. Okay, but the current stable version is Python 3.12.4. So if I want to download this particular Python, so what I have to do, guys, I just need to click on the download button. So see, my download has started. Now after downloading, what you have to do, guys, I'll just cancel it because I already have downloaded. So after download, what you have to do, the way actually you install any kinds of software, just double click, do the next, and try to install this particular software in your system. Okay. But I will suggest don't use this particular official actually Python installer. Instead of that, what you can do, you can install something called Anaconda. Okay, Anaconda Python. So if I search here, so this is the official website of the Anaconda. So Anaconda is a distribution. So you can see what is Anaconda. Anaconda is a distribution for the Python and R programming language for the scientific computing that aims to simplify package management and deployment. The distribution includes data science package suitable for the Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. That means later on, if you want to learn the data science or machine learning, deep learning, whatever, let's say you want to learn or whatever you want to do, so you can use this particular Anaconda distribution. So there actually will get more advantage instead of using this particular official Python installer, right? So how to download this particular Anaconda distribution? So just go to this particular website, and here you will see this particular free download option. Just click here. So you can click on this particular skip registration. Now you will see this particular download option, guys. So you can download for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. Okay, all the operating system it is available. Based on your operating system, you can install this particular Anaconda in your system. So again, if you click here, it will start download this particular software. You can see it's around 912 MB, but I will cancel it as of now because I already have Anaconda in my system. Let me show you. So if I search for Anaconda, so you can see Anaconda Navigator, Anaconda Prompt. After installing this particular software, you will get this particular two actually tool. Okay, Anaconda Navigator and Anaconda Prompt. Okay. So again, it's a simple installation only. Just double click and do the next. Whatever things it is coming, just keep it as default. Okay, after installing, you will able to see this. These are the option: Anaconda Navigator, Anaconda Prompt. Now, if I click on Anaconda Prompt, guys, it will open this particular prompt. Okay, after opening, just write this particular Conda command. So it should give you this particular message. Okay, if you are getting this particular message, congratulations, you have successfully installed this particular Anaconda in your system. But I'm going to use one amazing actually tool, as I already told you, the free tool. Which is available over the Google Cloud. I don't need to set up this thing in my local system. So which is nothing but Google Colab. So to open this particular Google Colab, just write Colab research on Google search engine. So you'll able to see this particular first website called Google Colab. Now if I click here, so it will give me that particular Colab interface. See guys, this is my Colab interface. So let me zoom my screen a little bit. Now I think it's visible. Now you can see this is the Colab interface. Now here I already created some previous notebook, so that's why it's showing, but for you it would be completely empty. So here the first thing what you have to do, you have to create a new notebook. So click here. So there is a plus icon, you can see, just click on this particular button. So it will create a new notebook for you. So let me just create it. So it will take some time. It will load that particular instance, then it will give you that particular instance. See guys, this is the interface. So here I got one notebook kinds of interface. So here actually I can execute my Python program. But before that, what you have to do guys, first of all, you have to assign one name. Okay, you have to assign one name of this particular file. So let's say this is my Python. Okay, Python basics. Okay, this is the Python basic we are doing here. So I'll just give this particular name, Python basic. You can give any kinds of name, it's up to you. But here I'm giving Python basic. Now, the second thing what you have to do, you have to connect this particular instance. Okay, so you have to connect. So here you have to connect to the runtime. Runtime means you are connecting with your CPU, RAM, okay, then your memory, everything you are making the connection because it's a offline right now. You have to make it as online, then you will be able to use this particular Google Colab. Okay, now what you can do guys, just there is a connect button, just click here. So now see it is getting connected. So guys, you can see connection is done. Now here you can see the RAM and disk I got here. So you can see Python 3 is running. Automatically Python 3 is running. So you don't need to install the Python here. And you can see RAM I got 12 GB RAM I got. And the disk I got 107 GB disk actually I got. That means you can store 107 GB file in this particular Google Colab. So left hand side you can see there is a file option. So here you can upload any kinds of file, any kinds of thing actually you can upload here. Okay, and the storage level you got 107 GB. So it's one amazing tool actually from the Google site. So you can use it. So a couple of actually video I'll be using this particular Google Colab. Couple of videos I'll be using Anaconda. Okay, so that's how actually I'll be using all kinds of tools so that everything you can learn. Okay, all together. So there is another tool actually you have to install called VS Code. Okay, Microsoft VS Code. So whenever we'll be doing the project and all, we'll be using this particular VS Code. That means Visual Studio Code. So this is called actually IDE, that means Integrated Development Environment. So this will give you one code editor that actually you can write a code and you can execute that particular code, okay, with the help of Anaconda distribution. So again, you can download for the Windows machine. If you're using Ubuntu or Mac, you can also install for them as well. So again, if I click here, it will start download this particular tool. Actually, you can see it's downloading. Now I'll just simply cancel it because I already have it. So let me show you my VS Code. So if I search for VS Code, now you will see this particular VS Code. So this is the VS Code, guys, and you will see this particular interface. So this is my previous project I implemented, so that's why it's opening. You can also open a new window. So let me open a new window. See, guys, you will get this particular new window, okay, after installing this. So now let me close it. As of now, it's not required. So I think these are the things actually you have to install only. Okay, going forward, actually we'll be using these are the tool, okay, one by one, and everything I'll show you like how to use them properly. Again, the installation process will be same. Only do the next, keep it everything default, and try to install this particular tool. Now, guys, I got my Google Colab instance. So here now I can do the coding. Okay, there actually I can do the coding in this particular cell, and there is a execution button. There is a run button. You can see this is the run cell. Now, if you click here, it will execute your program. Okay. So guys, my setup part is ready. I showed you how we can install the Python in our system, as well as how we can use it in the cloud platform like Google Cloud Platform. I already showed you. Now let's write our first Python program. Okay, for this again I'm going to go back to my Google Colab, and there actually I'm going to write my first Python program. So I think, guys, you are excited. Now let's fire up our code editor and let's do our first program inside Python. Hello everyone, welcome back. So guys, in this particular video we'll be writing our first Python program. So for this, I open up my Google Collaboratory. So here I'm going to execute the first program. So the first program would be the Hello World program. So this is the common program for all the languages, which is nothing but Hello World. So here we just need to print one Hello World message in the console, right? So how to print this particular Hello World in the console inside Python? So for this, I'm going to use one function called print. Okay, you can see print is a word. Okay, whenever I'm giving this particular parenthesis, okay, that means the first bracket, now it is becoming a function. Okay, it is becoming a function. You can see the color is changing. Now let's see if I remove this particular bracket. You can see initially it was white color. Now whenever I'm assigning this particular parenthesis, it is becoming one function. Now guys, if you hover your mouse on top of this particular print function, now here you can see print is a built-in function inside Python. You can see print is a built-in function. Built-in function, built-in means, so built-in function means it is already built-in inside Python. Okay, so here we are not implementing this particular print function. It is already built-in inside Python. So still, if you have confusion about the function, like what exactly this function is, I can give you one simple explanation. So after that particular explanation, this particular concept will be clear in your mind. See, just try to consider function is an entity. It takes one input, okay, and it gives one output. Okay, it will do some processing inside a function and it will give you the output. So I think in mathematics you have learned the function. Okay, in mathematics you have learned the function. Let's say f is a function. Okay, so inside that you are doing something. Let's say 2 times x plus 3. That means if I pass x is equal to, okay, if I pass, let's say x is equal to 3 inside this particular function, so 3 will come here. So it would be 2 times 3 plus 3. That means if you just multiply 6 plus 3, and it will become 9. Okay, that means as an input, okay, as an input to this particular function, that means f of x, okay, you are passing something called 3. Okay, you are passing something called 3, and as an output, okay, as an output, what you are getting? You are getting 9. That means something is happening in the backend inside a function. Okay, only as a user, you are giving input and you are getting output. Okay, and something is happening in that particular function. Okay, so this is called function. This is called function in mathematics. Okay, this is called function in mathematics. So similar concept is also used inside programming language. Okay, so in programming language, they also created some of the function. Let's say whenever I was writing print function. Okay, so print takes one input and it will give you one output. That means it will take one input and it will give you one output. Okay, so now I think this part is clear. What is function exactly, right? Now let's try to see like how we can pass the input inside a print function, and let's see like how it gives the output. So let's say I want to print hello world message. So inside that, what I have to do, I have to give one single quotation. Okay, single quotation. Inside that I can write hello world. Okay, hello world. Any kinds of message you can write, not only hello world, any kinds of message you can write. Now, first of all, let's print the hello world. Now, if I want to execute this particular code, what I have to do, I have to click here. I have to click on this particular cell. You can see run cell, I have to click. Now, if I click here, now guys, you can see hello world is been printed inside my console. Okay, hello world is printed inside my console. Now see, here I have given single quotation. Now you can ask me, sir, can I give double quotation? Yes, you can also give double quotation as well. So inside Python, actually, double quotation, single quotation, it doesn't matter. You can pass anything. So now you can see here, I can give double quotation instead of single quotation. Now again, if I execute, still it will work. See, it will give me hello world. Okay, that means inside this particular print function, I'm giving one input and here I'm getting one output. Okay, and to get this particular output, something is happening inside the print function. Some logic is happening inside print function. Some code is already written inside print function. Okay, so this particular code we haven't written. It is already predefined code from the Python side. So Python developer has written this particular code for us. Okay, and they created this particular print function for us. Okay, so what I have to do, I have to give an input and I have to get an output. That is the only thing I have to do. Okay, so that's why I told you it has already lots of batteries included. Okay, so that means lots of predefined functions are available. With the help of that, you can easily write your code. So this is the first program, guys. If you're able to print this particular hello world, congratulations, you are able to write your first program inside Python and you are also getting the output of this particular program. Now see, here I executed this particular program by executing this particular cell. There is another execution way you can do. Let's say I can copy this particular code in this particular cell. See how I am taking the new cell. So if you just click here and if you hover here, you can see code is coming. Now click on the code, it will give you a new cell. Okay, it will give you a new cell. Okay, you can also delete this particular new cell. There is a delete button. Okay, that's how you can take a new cell, you can delete the new cell. Now see, if I want to execute this particular cell without using this particular button, I can do it. For this, I have to just press shift enter from my keyboard. See, if I execute shift enter, still this particular program would be executed cell by cell. Okay, that's how we can execute any kinds of program, right? So now let's print any other sentence actually. So instead of printing hello world, I can print also other sentence. So for this, again, I'm going to take this particular print function. Inside that, I'm going to write my name. Let's say Bappi Ahmed. Okay. So now if I again press shift and enter, so it will execute this particular cell and I will get the console output. Okay. Now one question, guys, I want to ask you. Now let's say if I'm writing this particular sentence like that, instead of giving the double and single quotation, I'm writing this particular sentence like that. Bappi Ahmed. Now, if I execute this particular cell, will it work? Just try to pause this particular video and try to think, will it work? Yes or no? Okay. See, if I execute this particular cell, it will give me an error. Okay, it will give me an error. The error would be invalid syntax. Perhaps you forget a comma. Okay, perhaps you forget a comma. That means this is not a correct way to write that particular sentence. Okay, so inside Python, we are having a couple of data types. Okay, data types means like, let's say integer data type, string data type, floating data type, Boolean data type, okay, complex data type. I'll be telling you this particular data type in detail. As of now, just try to consider inside Python, we are having some of the data type. Whatever data we are writing, it is having one type. That means the data I'm using here, it's a string type data. Here we are writing a sentence, we are writing a word. Okay, and whenever you are writing a sentence and word, you have to pass inside a double quotation or inside a single quotation. Whenever you can see this particular double quotation and single quotation, that time you can consider it's a string type data. It's a string type data inside a Python. Okay, it's a string type data inside a Python, right? And without double quotation and single quotation, if you're passing any kinds of word and sentence, this would be considered as a syntax error. That means invalid syntax. So that's why actually we can't write this particular word and sentence without using any kinds of double quote and single quote. Okay, so this is an invalid syntax output. Now we can ask, sir, instead of printing actually this particular word and sentence, can I print any number? Can I print any floating number like a decimal number? Definitely you can do it. For this, let's see one experiment. So here I can take this particular print function. Inside that I can give 7. Okay, or I can give, let's say, 9. Now if I execute, see, this particular 9 would be printed. This particular 9 would be printed. Now I can also print a decimal number. So here I can give print and inside that I can write 9.9. Okay, now if I execute again, see, 9.9 would be printed. So again, I can also print like any other type data inside Python. Let's say I'm going to use Boolean type. I'll tell you this particular Boolean type means true and false. Okay, only true and false. Now see, if I execute, still it will work. Okay, it will give me the true output. Now I can also print multiple data type in one particular print function. It is also possible. So see guys, print is like very powerful function. So inside print function, you can do lots of things. Okay, you can do lots of things. I'll tell you what are the things actually you can do. Now I'm going to tell you one very powerful functionality of the print function. See, here I can give multiple actually data type. Let's say hello, I can give. I can also give, let's say, some number. Let's say 1. I can give, let's say 4. 3. I can give, let's say 5. Okay. Then again, I can give, let's say, some decimal value. Let's say 5.5, 5.6. And I can also give, let's say, some Boolean value. Let's say true. Now, if I execute this particular code, you will see that all the number would be printed. All the data would be printed. Hello, 1, 3, 5, 5.6. Okay. Then true. Everything is printing inside the console. So that much actually powerful it is. So it can't only print actually one specific data, it can print actually multiple data. Okay, multiple data type with the help of one print function. Now you can ask me, sir, why it is printing in a line and why there is a space? Because here I haven't given any space. Let's say if I'm removing this particular space as well. See, there is no space. Now still if I execute this particular program, space is coming. Why space is coming? Now just try to see carefully. So if I write a print function, okay, if I write a print function and if I wait for some times, you will see some suggestion I will get here. Some description I will get here for the print function. Like what is this particular print function and what this particular print function takes as an input. You can see the first input, it takes the value. That means the value we have given, like hello, 7, 9, whatever things we have given, this is called value. There is another parameter called separator. You can see separator. Separator means like the separator, you can see like after hello, what would be the separator? Whether it's a space, whether it's a new line, or whether it's a hyphen, whether it's a comma, whether it's a like full stop. So this is called actually separator. Now you can see by default this particular separator is a space. Okay, it's empty. That means it's a space. Okay, separator is space. Now you can change this particular separator anytime with the help of any kinds of symbol. Okay, with the help of any kinds of symbol, you can change this particular separator. Okay, now let's try to see one example. So what I can do, I can copy this particular code and inside that I can paste. Now here I can pass this particular separator parameter, sep is equal to, here I can write I want to separate this particular like line with the help of this particular hyphen. Okay, hyphen sign. Now if I execute this particular program, now you'll be able to see that after hello hyphen is coming, then one, then again hyphen, everywhere actually hyphen is assigned. That means now the separator is hyphen. Okay, you can also use any other symbol. Let's say I want to use this particular comma. See, now it is using comma. Okay, it is using comma. So that's how actually you can play with different parameter inside Python. Okay, and it's like very powerful function they have developed. Now one thing I just wanted to tell you, let's say there is a two print statement I'll be writing. Let's say the first print statement, let's say Bappy, and the second print statement I can write, let's say Ahmed. Okay, now if I execute this particular program, now tell me what would be the output. You can see first of all Bappy will come, then Ahmed is coming. Why it is coming like that? Okay, why it is coming like that? Because I was expecting after Bappy Ahmed will come, but why it is coming like that? Okay, there is another reason. Again, just write this particular print function and wait for some time. So you will get this particular suggestion. Now you can see there is another parameter called end. So end is equal to /n. /n means like the new line. Okay, /n means like new line. That means after Bappy, one new line would be printed. Then in that particular new line, Ahmed would be printed. Now you can also play with this particular parameter. Okay, instead of like taking this particular end line, what you can do, again, I can copy this particular code and here I can mention, now there is a parameter I told you called end. Okay, end. So end is equal to, here I can write, I don't want to take this particular end. Instead of that, what I can do, I want to take, let's say, hyphen. Now see, after Bappy, one hyphen will come and Ahmed is coming. Now instead of taking hyphen, let's say I want to take, let's say, I want to take a space. Okay, so for this, I'll just remove this particular hyphen. Now if I execute this particular program, see, Bappy Hamid is coming, but there is no space. So what I can do, I can give a space here. Now if I execute, now see, space will come. Okay, so that's how we can play with different parameter inside a print function. Okay, I hope this part is clear, guys. So guys, this is the print function. This is the first program we have written. I hope you enjoyed this particular session. So that's how actually we'll be doing lots of hands-on. We'll be learning each and everything of the Python. Okay, whatever things actually required to learn that particular programming language, to master that particular programming language, definitely I will teach you each and everything. So yes, guys, this is all about from this particular video. So in the next video, I'll be discussing about the Python data types. What are the data types available inside Python? Okay, we'll be understanding in detail. So with that, guys, thank you so much for watching this video and I will see you next time. Hello everyone, welcome back. In this particular video, we'll try to understand the data type in Python. So as I already told you, inside Python, we are having so many data types, okay, like string, integer, Boolean, complex, and so on, right? So guys, instead of talking too much, let's go back to our code editor and try to understand this particular data type inside Python. So here, first of all, let me write down the agenda name. So if you want to write something, let's say if you want to write some title and the topic name, what you can do. So if you just hover on the cell, okay, you will see one text option. Just click on the text. You will get a text cell here. Now here you can write something. Let's say you can write, this is a Python data type. Okay, data type. Okay, data types in Python. Now again, if I press shift and enter, you will see this particular cell would be executed, and now it would be considered as a text. Okay, it would be considered as a title. Now you can see this particular title is like very small, but I want to make it as a bigger. What I can do, again, I can double click on top of it. Now to make this particular like title bigger, what I can do, I can take one symbol called hash. Okay, hash symbol I can take. Now if I again press shift and enter, you will see, now you can see this particular title has become large. Now also you can control the size. If I take 2 hash, you will see it would be a little bit smaller than the previous. Okay, that's how you can control the size. Now I'll take the 1 hash only, and if I press shift enter again, so you will see my title is ready. Okay, now you can also like give the title, you can note it down. That's whatever topic actually you are learning, you can note it down here. So if you're referring this particular notebook, let's say after 1 month, 2 months, okay, or let's say 6 months, still you will be able to understand, okay, what is the topic actually you have learned in this particular notebook. Okay, that's how you can manage your notes. Okay, you can manage your notes. So this is one amazing tool, guys, from the Google side they have developed. Okay, so here you can not only code, you can also create the markdown. So this is called markdown actually. That means you can also take as a note. Okay, you can also give the title, you can also give the description. Let's say I want to give a description. What I can do, just below of the title I can write the description. Let's say Python. Okay, Python is awesome. Okay, that's how you can give that description as well. Now let me just remove this particular line and only take the this particular title. Now guys, inside Python actually we are having some of the data types. So the first data type we are having something called integer. Let me just write down all of the data type first of all. So the first data type, which is nothing but integer. Okay, and the second data type we are having something called float. Okay, float. Float means this is the decimal point. That means decimal point. If you are taking any decimal point, this is called float. Okay, and the third data type we are having something called Boolean. This is called Boolean. Boolean. All right, that means true or false. And the fourth data type we are having something called string. Okay, string. String means you can also consider as a text. Text, that means word, sentence. This is called actually string. And float means this is the decimal. Okay, decimal. Okay, decimal value. Here I can write like that. In a bracket I can write like this is a decimal. This is called decimal, and this is called text. So in a normal actually term we call it as a decimal and text, but in programming language we call it as float and string. Okay, not decimal and text. Then the fourth data type we are having, the fifth data type we are having something called complex. Okay, complex type data. I'll tell you what is this particular complex type data type. Okay, and the sixth actually we are having called list. Seventh we are having tuple, and eight we are having something called sets. Okay, 9 we are having something called dictionary. Okay, yes, so these are the actually 9 data type available inside Python. I'll be discussing each and everything one by one. So see here, after actually 6, that means list, tuple, sets, dictionary. This is not only data type, this is also called a data structure inside Python. Okay, I'll tell you this particular data structure in detail. I'll be discussing like list in detail, tuple in detail, sets in detail, and dictionary in detail. Okay, no need to worry. But these are the actually major data type inside Python you will get, like integer, float, boolean, string, and complex. Now let me just save this particular description. Now let's first of all try to understand this particular integer type data. Now how to write this particular integer type data? See, but before that, let me show you the comments inside Python, like how to give a proper comment. Okay, how to give a proper comment. Let's say if I'm writing something, let's say I'm writing something here. I'm writing some code. Let's say I'm written one print statement. So print, let's say my name is Bappi. So this is a print statement I have written. Okay, now let's say if I want to comment. Okay, if I want to make a comment, let's say if I want to pin a comment. So what I can do here, so that later on I can understand, okay, this is a print function, that's how we have written. Okay, so for this I can use this particular hash symbol. Okay, and here I can write this is a comment, this is a comment, this print function print a sentence. Okay, sentence. Now see, this particular line would be considered as a comment. That means this won't be executed. Let's say if I execute my program, See, only my name is Bappi is printing. Okay, this particular sentence is not getting printed. This is getting ignored. This is getting ignored by the Python interpreter because Python is an interpreted language. So every time it will read line by line. It will read line by line. So whenever it will come in this particular line, by seeing this particular hash symbol, it will automatically consider this is a comment. This is a comment inside Python. Okay, this is a comment inside Python. Okay, so this is called actually single line comment. This is called single line comment. Now there is another comment actually will get called multi-line comment. Okay, let's say you want to comment, let's say you want to comment, but it is not possible in one line. Okay, you need multiple line. That time you can do multi-line comment. So how to do the multi-line comment? For this, you have to use this particular six double quotation. Okay, so 3 on top and 3 below. Okay, now inside that you can write any kinds of comment. Let's say this is a multi-line comment. Okay, this is a multi-line comment. Comment. This is this print function. Print something. Here you can write anything. Now see, here I can add as much as line I can. Okay, add much as line I can. Now still if I execute this particular program, only my name is Bappi would be printed. Okay, and this would be considered as my multi-line comment, and this is a single line comment. Okay, single line comment. Okay, so that's how actually you can do the comment inside Python programming. Okay, so this is what I just wanted to tell you because now I need the comment actually. That's why I just told you, okay, how to write the comment inside Python programming. Now let's say first of all I'll be discussing about integers. So first of all, let me comment. So this is a integer discussion we are doing. Okay, so this is an integer discussion we are doing. Now what is integer number inside Python? The number actually we use and it doesn't have any decimal point. Okay, this is called integer number. Let's say whatever number actually we are having, let's say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 so on. Okay, this would be considered as my integer number. Okay, let's say if I just write print let's say 3. So this 3 is an integer number. It's an integer type data type. Okay, it's an integer data type. Okay, it's an integer data type. In Python, whenever I'm talking about data type, it is a integer data type because it doesn't have any decimal point. It doesn't have any decimal point. Okay, so if you don't have any decimal point, if you're writing any kinds of number, okay, which is a, let's say without decimal point, this would be considered as an integer number. Okay, it would be also considered as a like bigger number as well. Let's say you can also write bigger integer, let's say 100. I mean, I don't know what is the number, but again, it would be considered as a integer number because again, it doesn't have any decimal point. Okay, so any kinds of number you are writing, so it would be considered as an integer number, right? Now, there is another data type I told you, which is nothing but this particular floating. That means decimal one. So let me just write float. Okay, float. Okay, float data type. So what is float data type? Any kinds of decimal number you are writing, let's say 2.5. 2.5. Okay, 2.5. So this is nothing but my floating number. Okay, this is nothing but my floating data type. Now you can also check whether it's a floating data type, whether it's an integer data type. Let's say you don't know. Okay, you want to make sure whether it's an integer data type or whether it's a floating data type. You can still do it. So inside Python, there is a pre-built function. Okay, inside Python, there is a pre-built function called type. So type is a function inside Python. So with the help of type function, actually, what you can do, you can detect whether this particular number is a floating number, whether this particular number is a integer number. Okay, now see here I can write, let's say the number I have given 3. Okay, so 3, if I just pass 3 here, so it would be considered as an integer. You can see this is an integer. It has detected automatically this particular number is an integer. Okay, as I told you, this is an integer number. Now let's say I will give this particular number the next floating number. Let's say it is 2.5. 2.5. Okay, now if I execute, see it's a floating number. That's how we can detect the data type. You can detect the data type of any number, right? Now the next data type we are having, I told you, called Boolean. Okay, Boolean. So what is Boolean data type? So if I'm writing any kinds of true and false statement, let's say true in Python, you have to give true like that. Okay, Python is a case sensitive language, guys. Okay, case sensitive language. So here, guys, Python is a case sensitive language. So make sure you are giving the correct case. Okay, whether it's uppercase and lowercase, you have to take care everywhere. So here I can write in a comment, Python is a Python is a case sensitive. Okay, case sensitive language. Okay, now let's, instead of giving the true like that, see, if I execute this particular code, it will print true. But let's say if I give true like that, instead of giving this capital T, I can give smaller t. Now see, it will throw me error. Okay, it will throw me error, name true is not defined. Okay, that's why I told you Python is a case sensitive language, so always you have to take care of the case. Okay, now there is another boolean which is nothing but false. Okay, false. F should be capital again, false. Okay, so this would be also considered as a boolean type data. That means true and false. Okay, whenever you are having true and false, that means conditional statement, true and false, that time it would be considered as a boolean type data. Now you can also check it. So in a type function, you can give this particular true. You will see it is a boolean as well as the false as well. It's a boolean type data. Okay, I hope this part is clear. Now the next data type, I think, which is nothing but string. Okay, let's copy. Now we have to discuss the string. I think you already saw the string type data, right? We already written inside our first program, so which is nothing but hello world. So this is called string type data. Okay, because we are writing in a double quotation or in a single quotation. Okay, so this is called string type data. Now I can test it. So what I can do, I can give inside type this particular hello world. See, this is the string type data, str. That means it's a string type data, right? Now the next data type, we have something called complex. I think in your school days you have learned the complex number, guys. I think you know that what is complex number, right? So this is actually called complex type data. Okay, inside Python. So if I want to show you one complex data, so here I can write 5 plus, let's say 7 j. So this is one complex type data. See, this is a complex type data. You can see the complex number. So this was available inside mathematics. Okay, in mathematics, I think you learned this particular complex number and all. Okay, you can see the entire discussion of the complex number. Okay, see, this is the complex number. Okay, so that's how actually, if you're writing anything, so this would be considered as a complex number. Okay, complex type data inside Python, right? Now you can also detect it. So I can give inside the type function, and if I copy this particular data type, and if I give it here, execute, you'll see it's a complex type data. Okay, inside Python. Now the next thing, I think we're having list, tuple, sets, and dictionary. Okay, now let's first of all understand the list. So here I can comment list. Okay, list. Now how to define the list type data inside Python? So inside print, I can write like that. So you have to take one bracket. You have to take this particular square bracket. Inside that, if I'm writing some couple of number, let's say if I'm writing some list of the number, let's say 1 to 3. Okay, so this is called actually list type data inside Python, because here it's not a single number, it's a list of the number. Okay, that is why it's called list. Now you can also detect. So I can copy this particular number and I can give inside the type function. See, it's a list type data type. Okay, inside Python. Now there is another data type. So this is the brother of actually list. We call it as a tuple. Okay, tuple. So how to write the tuple? The same thing, only I just need to change the bracket. So instead of taking this particular square bracket, I have to take this particular parenthesis. That means the first bracket. I have to take the first bracket. Okay, so this would be considered as my tuple. See, again, it's a list of the number, but again, we're using the first bracket. Now you can ask me why we're taking this particular square bracket, why we're taking this particular first bracket, and why it is calling as list and tuple. Okay, there is a dedicated session on it, guys. No need to worry. We'll be discussing each and everything in detail. Okay, this is also called data structure in Python. Okay, data structure means how it can store the data in efficient way. Okay, in a storage. This is called data structure in Python. So we'll have a dedicated video on this particular topic. No need to worry. As of now, just try to consider each is a data type inside Python. Okay, so these are the data type are available inside Python. Okay, now the next thing, which is nothing but my sets. Okay, sets. Now how to define the sets, guys? So to define the sets, only you just need to change the bracket again. Now you have to take this particular bracket. You have to take this particular this particular bracket. Okay, this particular bracket. Okay, this particular bracket. Now if you use this particular bracket, it will be considered as a set. See, now we can also detect. Okay, I think I haven't detected the tuple. So what I can do, I can copy this particular line and I can give it inside type function. So it would be considered as my tuple. Okay, now I can also detect this particular set. I can give inside type. See, it is nothing but my set. Okay, set data type. Now the last one, I think it was dictionary. Okay, it was dictionary. Yeah, it was dictionary. Okay, so how to mention the dictionary data type? So it's just a key value pair. So let's say print. So I'll take this particular bracket, the same bracket you take for the sets, you have to take the same bracket, and inside that you have to write a key value pair. Okay, let's say name. Okay, name is Bappi. Then let's say age. Age is, let's say, 22. And let's say gender, comma, gender. I think you can see it's a kinds of dictionary. Okay, it's a kinds of dictionary we are implementing, right? In a dictionary also we are having this particular format. So here you can see name is the key, Bappi is the value. Again, age is the key, 22 is the value. Gender is the key, male is the value. That means it is storing the data as a key value pair. This is called dictionary data type inside Python. Okay, we'll be more discussing about this particular dictionary. No need to worry. Okay, there are so many examples we'll be giving. As of now, let's consider this is a dictionary type data. Now, if I print it, it will be also printing name, age, gender. Okay, now we can also detect. So what I can do, I can copy this particular data and I can give inside type function. See, it's a dictionary type data. Okay, so I hope guys all the data types are clear right now. So whatever data type actually we are having inside Python, I have discussed all of them. You can see integer, float, boolean, string, complex, list, tuple, sets, and dictionary. Okay, so everything I have shown you with an example. Now I think guys everything is clear in your mind. Okay, so guys in the next video we'll be learning about the variable inside Python. Okay, with that guys, thank you so much for watching this video and I will see you next time. Hi everyone, welcome back. In this particular video, I'm going to discuss about variables, keyword, and identifier inside Python. So let's open up our code editor and let's try to understand this particular variable first. So here, first of all, let me just give the title. So here we'll be discussing about variable at the very first. So variables, okay, variables. So guys, variable is nothing but it's just a container and it can store any kinds of value. Okay, so let's say I'll take one example. So let's say a is a variable. Inside that I'm storing 2. Okay, inside that I'm storing 2. So here a is a variable and 2 is the value. That means a contains 2. That means a is the container and it is containing this particular 2. That's why a is the variable and 2 is the value. Now if you want to print this particular variable, you can do it. For this you can use this particular print function. Inside that you can mention that particular variable name. Now if I execute this particular program, you will see that this particular value would be printed. That means whatever value you are assigning inside a variable, this would be printed. So see guys, previously how I used to print that particular data, I was directly passing this particular data inside the print function. But instead of that, now what I am doing, I'm storing this particular data inside a variable and that particular variable I'm calling, okay, inside a print function. Now you can also do it for the other data type as well. Let's say I'll take another variable, let's say b is equal to. So here I can take one float type data. So I can take, let's say 3.5. And if I just do the print operation right now, so it will print this particular 3.5. So you can also do for the other data type as well. Let's say I'll take a variable called c. Inside that I'm going to store this particular Boolean value. Okay, so Boolean value. So it would be true. So true. You can also mention as false. It's completely fine. Let's take another variable called d, and inside that I'm going to mention one string value. Let's say Bappi. Now if I want to print it, I can also do it. So I'll just write print. First of all, I want to print the c. Then I can also print this particular d variable. Okay, now you can see that both variable would be printed and it will print my value. Okay, whatever value actually I have assigned inside a variable, it would be printed. So this is called actually variable. Okay, so variable is nothing but it's just a container. It can store any kinds of value. So now you can ask me why we have to use this particular variable inside our program. why we can't directly pass this particular data inside the print function? Okay, so there is a reason actually, because let's say whenever you are implementing any kinds of software, any kinds of product, so definitely there would be lots of functionality. Let's say if I take one example, let's say Facebook. So whenever you are logging into your Facebook, okay, whenever you are creating an account in your Facebook, so what will happen? You just pass your name, yes or no? You just pass your name, right? Let's say my name is Bappy. I'll pass my name. Whenever it will throw me that particular form, like I have to put my name, I have to put my age, I have to put my phone number, right? I'm passing these as the data. And what Facebook are doing, actually it is storing somewhere. It is storing somewhere this particular information. And where it is storing, it is storing inside a variable. Okay. And why they are storing, let's say whenever you complete that particular account creation, you will be able to see that it will tell you welcome, let's say your name, it will call your name, let's say Bappy, or let's say Alex, or any other name. Actually it will call, let's say whatever name actually you are using in that particular form, it will give you that particular welcome message. Okay, now how it is getting that particular name? Because it is storing, okay, it is storing somewhere. Let's say it is storing in a name variable. Okay, it is storing in a name variable. Let's say name is equal to, I have given in that particular form Bappy. Okay, in that particular input form I have given Bappy. Okay, and that particular Bappy, where it is stored inside a variable called name. And whenever it is printing that particular message, that means welcome message, how it is printing? It is printing like that. Okay, so it is printing like name. Okay, name, and here it is also printing something called or I can just like write like that. Let's say welcome. Okay, welcome. So welcome should be a string type data, so I can mention inside a double quotation. So welcome. Okay, and comma name. Now if I execute this particular program, you will see that it will tell me welcome Bappy. So that's why actually they are using this particular variable, and variable is super important, like you can say concept inside programming. Without variable, actually you can't write the program. So whenever you are defining any kinds of value, make sure you are defining that particular value inside a variable, okay, instead of mentioning directly in that particular function. Okay, so this is a super important concept, guys. That's why I just wanted to tell you this particular real-time example. I think now this part is clear in your mind, right? You can also perform mathematical operation with the help of variable. Let's say there is a variable I have taken, let's say a is equal to 2, and there is another variable I have taken, let's say b is equal to 3. Now let's see if I want to do the addition operation. So what I can do, I'll just write print a plus b. Okay, if I just write this particular statement, you will see that it will do the addition operation. 2 plus 3, it would be 5. Okay, so we'll be more discussing about this particular operators inside Python. Okay, like there are so many operators we can use, there are so many mathematical operation we can perform. We'll be discussing each and everything, no need to worry. As of now, I'm only giving you the overview, like with the help of this particular variable, what are the things actually we can perform, right? Now there is two important concept inside variable. The first one is like dynamic. Okay, dynamic typing, and there is another one called static typing. Static typing. Now first of all, let's try to understand the dynamic typing variable. Okay, let's say whenever I'm defining any kinds of a variable, let's say a is equal to 7. Okay, see here I'm directly defining this particular variable called a is equal to 7. Now inside this particular variable, what kinds of data I'm storing? I think you know that this particular data is a integer type data. Okay, it's a integer type data. Here I can also comment. See, you can also comment like right hand side of the program. It is also possible. Okay, so here it's a integer type data I'm storing in this particular variable. But if you have ever learned any other programming language like C, C++ or Java, there actually I think you saw whenever we define any kinds of variable, first of all we have to define the data type of that particular variable. Let's say I want to define a variable which will contain the integer type data. So first of all, I have to define the data type called integer. Then I will define the variable name. Then inside that I will store this particular value. Okay, so this is the syntax for other programming language. Okay, let's say this is the syntax for C, then C++, okay, then Java. So these are the programming language actually use this kinds of static typing. Okay, this is called static typing. Okay, static typing variable declaration, and this is called dynamic typing variable declaration. Okay, inside Python actually we don't need to mention this particular data type because Python is like so powerful, it is so intelligent, it can automatically detect okay what kinds of data actually you are assigning in this particular variable. Okay, with respect to that, it will automatically assign this particular data type okay of a variable. So you don't need to manually assign this particular data type okay of a variable. It will automatically detect and it will automatically assign in the backend. Okay, so this is the best advantage actually we'll get inside Python. Okay, and if you're using any other programming language, so there actually have to manually assign this particular data type of a variable. So this is what actually I just wanted to tell you. This is a super important topic. Even lots of interviewer ask this particular question, like what is the dynamic typing and what is the static typing variable. Okay, just try to explain. So that's why actually I just wanted to tell you this particular things. Now guys, apart from that, there is another concept inside variable. It is also super important concept called dynamic binding and static binding. So first of all, let's discuss about this particular dynamic binding, what this particular dynamic binding is. Okay, now let's say here I have defined my variable, so a is equal to 5. Okay, so here I have taken a variable called a is equal to 5. Now if I print this particular variable, you will see that it will print this particular variable. Okay, you can see that it will print this particular variable and the value is like 5. Now here I can again mention a is equal to, okay, a is equal to, let's say Bappy. Okay, a is equal to Bappy. Now again, if I print this particular variable a, now if I see execute this particular program, so what will happen? First of all, it will print this particular 5, then it is printing this particular Bappy, because you can see I have taken the same name of this particular variable. A is equal to 5, then I'm printing this particular a, then again I have taken a is equal to Bappy, again I'm printing this particular a. That means what is happening? So see, I think you know Python is an interpreted programming language, right? So what it will do, it will read line by line. First of all, it will come here and it's all like, okay, a is equal to 5, it has to print that particular 5, then again it will come a is equal to Bappy, so it will print that particular Bappy. That's why you can see 5 and Bappy. So this is called actually dynamic binding. Okay, but in other programming language, let's say C++ or C or Java, it's not possible. So whenever you define any kinds of variable, let's say int a is equal to 5, okay, or let's say 7, int a is equal to 7. Okay, if you just define like that, you can't ever change this particular data type. Okay, you can't ever change this particular data type. You can't write like that. So int a is equal to, or let's say here you can define a string, okay, str a is equal to, okay, Bappy. You can't ever assign like that. So it won't be allowing you to assign this particular variable. Okay, so this is called static binding. So in other programming language, it's not possible, but in Python, it is possible. If you're taking the same name for the other variable also, still you can do that particular assign operation. Okay, but in other programming language, it's not possible. Okay, it will throw you error. Okay, so that's why it is called dynamic binding. This is called static binding. So again, it is a super important interview question. Most of the interviewer ask. That's why I just wanted to tell you this particular concept as well, right? So we don't need to use this particular static binding and static typing inside the Python. Always we'll be using the dynamic typing and dynamic binding inside our Python programming language. Now let's say you want to assign some of the value in some of the, let's say, variable. Let's say what you can do. Let's say a is equal to 1, and again you have taken a variable called b is equal to 2. Then again you have taken a variable called c is equal to, let's say, 3. Now if I want to print this particular variable, what I can do, I can easily print. I can just write a comma b comma c. Okay, now if I execute this particular code, see 1 2 3 would be printed. But here what I did, guys, here you can see 3 times I had to write this particular variable. Okay, you can see a is equal to 1, b is equal to 2, c is equal to 3. So 3 times I had written this particular variable. Okay, so instead of that, you can follow a simpler approach. See what you can do, you can just write like that. So a comma b comma c. Okay, a comma b comma c, and inside that you can store the variable like that. Let's say 1 comma 2 comma 3. Okay, now if I print this particular value, so if I just simply print this particular value, let's say a comma b comma c. Now see, still you will get the same output. So instead of mentioning like that, you can also declare variable in that way also. It is also possible. Okay, so this will make your task more easy. Instead of defining in a new line again and again, what you can do, in single line you can assign the variable. Only you just need to separate out with the help of comma, and there actually you can store the value. That means what is happening, inside a 1 is coming, inside b 2 is coming, inside c 3 is coming. Okay, and you can print all of them one by one. Now there is another things you can do. Let's say again I have taken a variable. Let's say a is equal to 5. Then let's say again I want to take b is equal to 5. Again I want to take, let's say, c is equal to 5. Now if I print them, so if I print them, see, it will print all of them. So a, b and c. Now if I execute, see, it will print 5 everywhere. Okay, but instead of writing like again and again, what I can do, I can just write like that. So a is equal to b is equal to c, and I will assign with 5. Okay, I will assign with 5. Now if I print this particular statement, let's say print a then a B, comma, sorry, A, comma, B, comma, C. Now see, still I will get the 555 output. Okay, so instead of writing again and again, what you can do, you can also give this particular sign, like equal sign, and you can mention any number. So what it will happen, so A will also take the 5, B will also take the 5, C will also take the 5. Okay, because you have mentioned the equal sign here. Okay, that is the idea. So guys, this is all about variable inside Python. I think you got the entire clear-cut idea about the variable. So that's actually, you can define any kinds of variable. Okay, if you want to store any kinds of value, you can define any kinds of variable, and inside that you can store any kinds of data type. Okay, this is the idea. Now the next thing we'll be discussing about, let me just comment it out. The next thing we'll be discussing about called keyword. So here I can just write keywords. Okay, keywords inside Python. So now you can ask me, what is this particular keywords? So simply just go to Google and just search for keywords in Python. So if I search this particular statement on the Google, so I will go to the image section. Now see, here I will get different images. What I can do, so here I can take one image. So let me take a good image actually, so that I can give you the explanation. See, I can take this particular image. Now I'll open this particular image in a new tab. Now I think this image is actually visible. Now you can see there are 39 keywords inside Python. What are the 39 keywords? You can see false, none, true, and as, assert, assigns, await, in, break, class, continue, def, del, elif, else, okay, for, from, global, if, and so on. So these are the 39 keywords available inside Python. So I think you remember we already used this particular false. Okay, true, false. These are the things we have already used in our program. So this is called actually keyword. And why this keyword is required? Okay, why this particular keyword is required? Let me tell you. Let's say, I think you know about the compilation, code compilation, how code compilation happens. Okay, so let's say whenever I write any kinds of code, how I write any kinds of code, I just give a English text, right? I just give a English text. But you are using one computer. Inside a computer, you are having one processor. Let's say Core i7, Core i9, or let's say Core i3, whatever you are using. So this particular computer can understand this particular raw English directly. Okay, that means raw text directly. So what it does actually, with the help of a compiler, it will try to convert that particular raw text to numbers. That means the binary numbers. That particular binary numbers, it will try to understand what you have written. So this is called code compilation. So some of the programming language will use the compiler, some of the programming language will be using the interpreter. Okay, what is compiler? Compiler will compile entire code altogether, but interpreter will read the code line by line and it will do the compile operation. Okay, so this is the idea. At the end, what is happening in the compilation? You are trying to convert this particular text to numbers. That means the binary representation, and your computer is trying to understand particular program, what you have written. But how it is getting understand? Okay, how it is getting understand, like whether you have defined any kinds of variable, whether you have defined any kinds of, let's say, function, whether you have defined any kinds of conditional statement, how it is getting to know. With the help of this particular keyword, it is getting to know. Let's say whenever you are giving the false, it is getting to know, okay, this is a Boolean value. This is the Boolean value. Okay, so whenever it is doing the compilation operation, it is automatically going to know, okay, so this is the Boolean value. Now, likewise, whenever you are defining function, I'll tell you this particular function in Python. As of now, I'm just only telling. So whenever I define any kinds of function, I'll be using this particular def keyword. That time it will automatically consider, okay, your Python will automatically understand you have written a function. Okay, so likewise, we'll be writing a class, we'll be writing a for loop, we'll be writing the if else statement, we'll be importing the libraries. Okay, we'll be using the lambda function, we'll raise the exception. So whatever actually we'll be doing in future, okay, whatever we'll be doing in future, everything will be understanding your Python, okay, with the help of this particular keywords. With the help of keywords, it will understand. Okay, after doing the compilation, that means after converting this particular code in a binary representation, it will try to understand with the help of this particular keywords. That's why this keyword is super important concept inside Python. And there are 39 keywords I already told you. So you can remember this particular keywords. And if you don't remember, no need to worry. We'll be using all the keywords, okay, going forward one by one. Okay, and we'll try to understand why we'll be using this particular def, why we'll be using this particular for, form. Okay, everything will be understanding, okay, in detail. No need to worry. So this is called actually keyword inside Python. Okay, now I think you got the entire idea what is like keyword. Now the next thing actually will be understanding, which is nothing but the identifier. So this is another super important concept inside Python, so called identifier. So identifier. Now what is identifiers? See, identifier is nothing but it's a variable only. It's just a way of declare your variable. Okay, let's say how we define the variable. I think you saw that we take a, let's say, any kinds of let's say a character, or you can also take any kinds of, let's say, word. Let's say I can also take like that, name is a word, and inside that I can store my name, let's say puppy. Okay, I can also take a character. Let's say I can take a is equal to 1. That's how I can assign. Okay, I can declare any kinds of variable. Okay, I can declare any kinds of variable. But what is identifier? Identifier is nothing but, this is the variable. Okay, identifier is nothing but it's a variable declaration. So this particular name is the identifier. For what identifier? Pup is identifier. Pup is the value. So pup is identifier, this particular name. So this is called identifier. Okay, again a is identifier. But there are some way actually we can define this particular variable. Okay, we can define this particular identifier. There are some restriction actually you have to follow. So see, whenever you are defining any kinds of variable, so here you can't start with a digit. Okay, start with a digit. Okay, let's say I will give you one demo. So let's say here I am defining one variable called, let's say, one name. Okay, now if I just write puppy inside that, and now if I want to execute this particular program, see, it will give me one error. It will tell you syntax error, invalid decimal, literal. Okay, I think literal. Yeah, literal. So that's why I have written you can't start with a digit. Okay, whenever you are defining any kinds of identifier, that is any kinds of variable, you can't start with a digit. But you can actually use the digit at the last of this particular identifier. Let's say name 1 is equal to puppy. That's how actually you can design. Okay, that's how actually you can write. See, it is working. Okay, then there is another actually identifier restriction you have to follow. You can't use any special character, any special characters. Okay, a special character means like a full stop, comma, then at the rate sign. Okay, all kinds of punctuation actually you can't use, except this particular underscore sign. You can use this particular underscore sign. Otherwise, you can't use anything. So let me give one example. Let's say if I want to declare one variable, let's say I want to declare variable, I am giving the hash. Now here I'm writing, sorry, hash should be considered as a like comment. So I can give a start, and here I can write name is equal to, let's say, puppy. Okay, if I define like that, see, if I execute, this particular program will give me error. This particular program will give me error. Now you can tell me, sir, I can define like that. Instead of writing this particular start at the very first, I can write at the last of this particular identifier. That means in the variable. Now if I just write like that, now if I execute, see, still it won't be working. Still it won't be working. It will give you error. So any kinds of actually symbol you can't use. So let's say instead of start, actually I want to use this particular, let's say, at the rate sign. Okay, I want to use this particular at the rate sign. See, still it will give me the error. It will give me the error. Okay, you can't actually use any kinds of special character, but you can use this particular underscore sign. Okay, now let's say if I'm writing like that, underscore name is equal to, okay, underscore name is equal to puppy. See, it will work. Again, you can also define like that, name underscore is equal to puppy. See, it is also working. Okay, now you can also declare the variable. That means you can also declare the identifier like that with the only one underscore sign. So underscore is equal to, let's say, puppy. Still it will work. That means what it is telling, whenever you are using this particular identifier, that means the variable, there are some restriction. The first restriction is you can't start with any kinds of digit. The second restriction is you can't use any kinds of special character except underscore sign. Okay, that is what actually I've just proven. You can't use any kinds of special character. Only you can use this particular underscore sign. Okay, this is called identifier inside Python. Okay, so guys, we have covered three things inside this particular video. The first thing we have learned about the variable. Variable is nothing but just a container. It can contain any kinds of value. The second thing we have learned, which is nothing but the keywords. There are actually 39 keywords inside Python. Okay, and these are the keyword helps us to compile our program. Okay, and we have learned about the identifier. Identifier is nothing but it's just a way of declare our variable. Okay, there are some restriction we have to follow whenever we are declaring the variable. So I hope guys this concept is clear to all of you. So in the next video, actually, we'll be discussing about the input inside Python, like how we can take an input from the user. Okay. So we'll be learning this particular concept, and we'll be doing one actually beautiful example with the help of input function. So yes, guys, this is all from this particular video. I hope you like this particular video. So thank you so much, guys, for watching this video, and I will see you next time. Hello everyone, welcome back with another amazing video. In this particular video, we'll be learning another very important Python concept, which is nothing but Python input. As of now, we have seen how we can print any kinds of data with the help of print function, but we haven't seen how we can take any kinds of input data from the user and that particular data how to print in the console. So let's go to our code editor and try to understand this particular concept. So guys, I'm going to use another amazing code editor, which is nothing but Jupyter Notebook. So how to use this particular Jupyter Notebook, let me show you. So if you want to use your Jupyter Notebook, first of all, open up your directory, and inside that, just try to open up your Anaconda prompt. So let me open up my Anaconda prompt. So here is my Anaconda prompt. So here, first of all, I have to change my local drive. So you can see I'm inside C drive currently, but the folder I have opened, it is inside E drive. So how to change inside E drive? For this, just write this particular command. So E, and give this particular clone symbol. And if I press enter, now you'll see that I will be redirecting to this particular E drive. Now inside that, I will just redirect to this particular location. I'll copy this particular location. I will open up my Anaconda prompt again. And I'll just write one command called cd, that means change directory. And here I'm going to paste this particular link. Now if I execute, you'll see that. Now here you can see this particular directory is changed, and now I'm inside Python tutorials folder. Now, if you want to open up your Jupyter Notebook inside this particular directory, just simply write this particular command called Jupyter Notebook. Now if I press enter, you will see that your Jupyter Notebook would be opened. So guys, as you can see, my Jupyter Notebook is opened, and this is the interface of Jupyter Notebook. So here, first of all, I'll just create a new file. So I'll just take a new notebook. Just click here, click on the new button and take a notebook. Let me zoom this particular screen. So I'll click on the new and take a new notebook. So this is same like your Colab notebook. In Colab notebook also you used to get a cell, right? Cell to execute your code. So here also you will get the similar kinds of interface. But it is running on your local machine. But the Colab was running on the Google server actually. Okay. So here it is telling just try to select the kernels. So here I'll be selecting this particular Python kernel. I'll just try to select this particular kernel, and you can see this particular kernel is set. Now if you want to test whether this particular like environment is working fine or not, simply you can just write one print statement. Let's say I'll just do one print statement. I'll just write hi. Now if I press shift and enter, you will see that this particular message will be printed. Now, if you're getting this particular message, that means congratulations, you are successfully able to launch your Jupyter Notebook. Now, first of all, give the name of this particular file. So let's say here we are learning Python input. I'll just rename it. I think everything is fine. Let me zoom this particular screen a little bit. Yeah, now I think everything is fine. So before starting with this particular input concept, first of all, I want to tell you why this particular input is required. Why we should use this particular input inside Python. Because if you see that we are having two kinds of application in the software industry. One is like static application. Let me just write down called static application. And another is dynamic application. Okay, dynamic application. So in static application, actually, you don't need to pass any kinds of input. Let's say if I give any kinds of real-time example, let's say calendar. Okay, calendar, then let's say clock. So if you're using this particular application, see here, you don't need to provide any kinds of input. Only you just try to open this particular application and you just try to see the dates or let's say times and all, right? But whenever I'm talking about dynamic application, let's say I'll give you another example. Let's say YouTube. Okay, then let's say Facebook. Okay, and so on. So these are the actually dynamic applications. So here you usually pass any kinds of input. Let's say you have opened up your YouTube, and in the search button you are searching something, you are searching for anything, right? So there actually you are passing any kinds of input. So this is called dynamic application. So these two kinds of application are available. So whenever you are creating any kinds of static application, you don't need to take any kinds of input from the user. But whenever you are creating any kinds of dynamic application, there you have to take the input from the user. But currently, whatever software actually it is being created, everything is like dynamic application. All the software takes the input, right? So that's why actually we need to use this particular input concept inside programming. Now let's see how we can take the input from the user. So let me just make this particular cell as a markdown. So for this, what I can do, I'll just click on code, and here is a markdown option. Just try to select, and if I just press enter, see it has become markdown, but I want actually smaller view. I'll add some more hash here. Now I think it would be fine, right?
So in Python, if you want to take any kinds of input from the user, you have to use one function called input. So this is the function, guys. So this function name is input. Now see, if I write this particular function and if I just press shift and enter, you can also execute your code from here. So this is the run button. If I click on this particular button, you'll see that this particular cell has been executed. And if you want to stop it, so here is a option called interrupt kernel. Just try to interrupt the kernel, see it will stop. And if you want to execute from the keyboard, what you can do, you can press shift and enter again. Okay, if you press shift and enter, now see one input box would be visible. Okay, see there is one input box is visible. Now inside that you can pass any kinds of input. Let's say I'll give one input. Let's say I'll give my name Bappy. Now if I just press enter, you will see that whatever input I have given, it has automatically printed in the console. Okay, that means the input was Bappy and Bappy is printed as a output. Now you can ask me, we can only give the string type like data in this particular input function. No, you can give any kinds of like data. You can give any kinds of data. Let's say if I again execute this particular cell, now let's say I want to give any kinds of number. I can give again if I press this particular enter, you will see that this particular number would be printed. I can also pass any kinds of, let's say a floating type value also. Let's say if I execute this particular cell, see everything is printed in the console. But one thing I think you have noticed, whatever input I'm giving, it is directly getting printed. But here I want to store this particular value in a variable. So how to do it? I think I already taught you the variable concept. So if you want to store it in a variable, so just try to define that particular variable. Let's say my variable name is var, and inside that I want to store this particular value. So here I'll just write this particular input function, and if I now execute my program, now see it is asking for the input. Let's say here I'm giving my name, and if I execute, see now you can see Bappy was my input. Now if you want to see the output, you can simply print this particular variable. I'll just use print function, and inside that I'll just pass this particular variable. Now see if I execute, Bappy would be printed. Now you can see that I'm able to store this particular data inside a variable. But here one very important things I want to tell you. Let's say if I check this particular type of this particular variable. Okay, let's say if I want to check this particular type, you'll see that it's a string type, because here Bappy was a string type data. But let's say whenever I'm giving any kinds of number, let's say I'm giving 1 2 3, so it's an integer data I'm passing. So let's say here one integer data I have passed. Now if I print this particular variable, you'll see that this particular number is getting printed. But whenever I'm trying to check the type of this particular variable, it is again telling it's a string. Let's say instead of giving integer, if I give floating value as well, let's say if I give 1.23, let's say this is the floating value, and if I again execute this particular program, you'll see that this is a floating value. But again if I check this particular type, you'll see that it is telling it's a string. So what is happening actually? You can pause this particular video and you can comment out what is the issue here. Okay, what is the issue here? Just try to figure out that particular problem and try to tell me in the comment. Now let me tell you why it is considering all the data in a string format. See, whenever you are using this particular input function, okay, whenever you are using this particular input function, by default this particular input converts all the data in a string type. Let's say in the input, user may pass any kinds of data type. They may pass like their name, they may pass their age, they may pass their gender, any kinds of data they may pass. Okay, so that's why whenever Python designed this particular input function, they were thinking, if I'm creating this particular input function, I should create in a common format so that if anyone passing any kinds of data, that should work properly. So that's why they designed this particular input function in such a way, so whenever user is giving any kinds of data, it would be converted to the string. It would be converted to the string because string is a common type data. So if you're storing your data in a string type, okay, there won't be any kinds of error, because number, floating value, okay, then Boolean character, string, anything I can mention as a string, okay, without any kinds of error. So that's why they consider whenever they are passing any kinds of input to the input function, this would be converted to the string. And whenever user need this particular number as an integer, they can convert it later on. Okay, there is another concept inside Python called type conversion. I'll discuss this particular type conversion. As of now, just try to consider we can convert the type. Let's say this is the string type. I can convert this particular string type to integer type easily. So here I can convert this particular data to the floating data type. So now you can see it's a string data type, but I can convert it to floating data type. So for this, what I have to do, I have to use one function called float. Okay, float is a function, and inside that just try to pass this particular variable. Okay, and I will store in a variable, let's say var. And now if I print the type of this particular variable right now, you will see that now this particular string type data has been converted to the floating data type. So this is called type conversion. Okay, I will discuss this particular type conversion in detail. No need to worry. As of now, just try to consider whenever you need any kinds of data type, you can do the type conversion. Let's say you have given this particular input as in a integer number. Now, if you want to take this particular integer number, you can do the type conversion. Okay, you can do the type conversion. That time you can use int. Okay, int function. Instead of floating, you have to use int function for this, right? So this is a simple concept. Actually, I just wanted to tell you. Now, I think you saw that how we can take any kinds of input, and whenever user is passing any kinds of input, by default it is converting to the string data type. And whenever I need with any other data type, I can do the type conversion for this, right? Now, one thing let me discuss. See, whenever I'm using this particular input function, let's say if I define this particular input again, and if I execute this particular program, you'll see that it is giving me one empty box. Okay, it is giving me one empty box. So as a user, actually, I don't know what I have to pass here. So instead of taking this particular empty box, I can like show one message here, like what kinds of data I want to take from the user. So for this, what you can do, so first of all, let me stop the kernel. So inside input function, you can give a message actually. Let's say here you can provide a message, enter your name. Okay, enter your name. Now see, if I execute this particular program, now it is asking enter your name. That means it is giving one message. Now as an user, I can get to know, okay, so here I have to pass my name. I think you have seen like in the Facebook, whenever you are trying to create your account, it will ask your name, it will ask your age, right? So that's how they're also taking the input. Now here I can pass my name. Let's say my name is Bappy, and if I just enter, see, Bappy would be stored in the variable. Now if I print this particular variable, see, I can also directly print in this particular cell. So I don't need to take any kinds of print function. If you're using Jupyter notebook, directly also you can mention this particular variable. It will print that particular value in the console. Either also you can use this particular print function. Okay, inside a print function also you can define your variable. So both way you can print the value I have showed you. See, now it is printing my name. So I hope guys this particular input concept is clear. Now let me do one small project on top of this particular input concept. So if you do this particular small actually exercise, your input concept would be more clear. So here we'll be creating one small calculator application. That particular calculator would be able to only do the addition operation. So let me just show you what are the steps actually we're going to perform in this particular application. See, here we'll be implementing one simple calculator. So what are the functionality this particular calculator will have? It will only have three functionality. It will first of all take the input. It will take two number. It will take two number. Take two number as an input. It will perform only add operation. Okay, add operation, and it will print the results in console. So this is a simple application we'll be implementing with the help of this particular input concept. So we'll be trying to implement these at the functionality one by one. Okay, so let's see how we can do this particular exercise with the help of Python. So again, I will go back to my code editor, and here I can mark down this particular exercise input. Okay, using input. So here, first of all, I have to take two number from the user. So here I can just write num1. So this is going to be my first variable, and user will pass okay, one number. So here I can give a message, enter the first number. Okay, enter the first number. Then I'll take the second number as an input. So again, I'll call this particular input, and inside that I'll copy this particular message as it is. Enter the second number. Okay. Now, one thing I have to do, because if you see, if I execute this particular program, if I execute this particular program and if I enter the first number, let's say first number is 2 and second number is 3. Now see, if I print it, if I print this particular number 1 and number 2, see, it is printing as a string type data because I already told you. So if I just show you the type, it's a string type data. Although I passed integer, but it is printing as a string. Okay, because I already told you, if you are giving any kinds of data to the input function, it will automatically convert to the string format, right? But here, whenever I'm creating calculator application, here I can't pass any kinds of string type data. Okay. So if you see any kinds of calculator, there you can pass any kinds of integer data or any kinds of floating data. That means decimal value, right? So either you can convert this particular data in an integer format, either you can convert this particular data in a floating format. So here what I can do, just to simplify this particular application, I'll just convert everything to the floating number, okay? Float number. Because all the number I will consider as a float number, okay? So here I will convert this particular number to a float number. And if you want to convert, how to do it? So in the float function, just try to write your input, okay? So I already showed you one demo, I think you remember. So here I showed you one typecasting operation. So if you want to convert anything inside that particular function, you have to give this particular data, right? So here again, I will write this particular float and I'll pass this particular input to the float. Now, if I execute this particular code, now if I again pass my number 1 and let's say 2. Now, if I print this particular type, you'll see that this particular number has converted to my floating number right now. Okay, you can see 2. Here I'm converting to the float, that's why it's coming 2.0. Okay, it's fine because again it's a 2 only at the end, right? Now see, I've successfully handled this particular situation. Now what I have to do? So this particular step is completed. We have taken the input from the user. Now I have to add this particular number. Okay, I have to add this particular number. So let me add this particular number. How to add this particular number? So again, I can take one variable called result. Okay, results. And simply I can do number 1 plus number 2. So I have added this particular number with the help of this particular add operator. Now the last step, I have to print this particular results. So to print this particular results, I can use this particular print function, and inside that I can pass this particular results. Now if I execute this particular program, now let's say the first number I will give 2, the second number I will give 3. Now if I press enter, see, the result is 5. 2 plus 3 is 5. Now if I again execute this particular program, now if I give, let's say 2.3 and 3.4, you'll see that the answer would be 5.6999 and so on. That means this particular calculator is working fine and it is only able to do the addition operation as of now. Going forward, we'll be learning more complex exercise. We'll be implementing the entire calculator application and all. As of now, just to explain this particular input concept, I just showed you this particular exercise, okay? So that your concept will be more clear. So I hope guys, you have understood this particular input concept, why it is required and why it is so important, okay, whenever you are creating any kinds of application in the software industry. So if you have liked this particular video guys, so you can share this particular video with your friends and family, and please try to subscribe to the channel. With that guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Hi everyone, welcome back with this particular video. So in this particular video, we'll be discussing about type conversion. In our previous video, we have seen like how we can use the input function inside Python and how we can take the input from the user. So there I was talking about this particular type conversion. I did one exercise, I think you remember, the simple calculator application I did. There I was converting our input to the floating number, right? So now let's discuss this particular type conversion in detail, why this particular type conversion is required. And I'll show you some of the example. So this would be very much clear in your mind. So let's go to our code editor and try to understand this particular type conversion. So guys, you can see I'm inside my Jupyter IDE. So here what I will do, again, I will take a new notebook. I'll just click on the new and take a new notebook. So previously we used this particular notebook, I think you remember. And here we did this particular exercise called simple calculator application. And here I did the type conversion operation, right? Now I'll take this particular new notebook and I'll select the Python kernel. So you can see the Python kernel, I'll select it. And I'll name this particular notebook as type conversion, and I'll try to rename it. So inside Python, we are having two kinds of type conversion. First of all, let me write down. So one is implicit type conversion, and there is like explicit type conversion. Explicit type conversion. So here implicit type conversion happens internally by Python, and this particular explicit type conversion happens by the okay, by the programmers. Okay, so let's try to understand these two things. So first of all, let me mark down it. So first of all, let me give you one implicit type conversion example. So let's say if I print this particular statement, let's say print, and inside that if I let's say do 5 plus 5.5. okay, if I print this particular, let's say statement, so what will be the output? Just try to pause this particular video and try to do the comment. Let's say if I execute this particular program, you'll see that the output would be 10.5. okay, the output would be 10.5. Now if I show you one thing here, so let's say if I check this particular type of 5, if I show you the type of 5, you'll see that it's an integer. Now if I show you the type of 5.5, okay, type of 5.5, it's a float. But whenever you did the addition operation, okay, whenever you did the addition operation of integer and float, by default this particular output would be converted to the floating number. Okay, by default this particular output would be converted to the floating number. So here you are not doing this particular conversion. Internally your Python is doing it. Your Python is automatically trying to understand what user wants actually. Okay, you can see that integer, and they're trying to do the addition with the floating number. So definitely the result should be also in floating number. Internally your Python is getting understand this particular statement, and it is trying to do the type conversion operation. Okay, so this is called implicit type conversion. Okay, that means it is happens internally with the help of your Python interpreter, right? Now let's try to understand this particular explicit type conversion. So I'll just copy this particular explicit statement, and here let me just paste it. Yeah, for this I'll give another demo. See, every time you can't actually expect the implicit type conversion from your Python interpreter. Okay, so let me give you one condition. Let's say you want to add two numbers. Let's say you want to add 4 plus string 4. Okay, 4 plus string 4. You can see the first one is integer and the second one I'm passing as a string. Now if I execute this particular program, you will see that it will throw me one error. It is telling unsupported operand type S for addition, integer and string. That means it is telling you can't add integer and string together. Okay, you can't do it. For this, what you have to do, you have to convert this particular string to the integer at the very first. Okay, then you can do it. So this is called explicit type conversion. So here internally your Python interpreter is not able to convert this particular data in a integer type. Okay, you have to convert it manually. Okay, so now let me show you how we can solve this particular situation. So here you can simply what you can do, I'll copy this particular print, and here I can simply call this particular integer function. I think you remember we are having different function for the type conversion. Let's say you want to convert to the integer, you can call integer. Let's say you want to convert to the floating, you can call float. Okay, that's how you can call different method, different function. Now if I execute, now I'll see that answer should be 8. 4 plus 4, it should be 8. Okay, so this is called actually explicit type conversion inside Python. So there are so many ways you can do the type conversion. Let's say you want to convert string to integer, you can do it. Let's say you are having one number, let's say number is 34, but it is present in a string format. So what you can do, you can convert to the integer. So simply just call this particular integer, okay, integer function, and inside that just try to pass this particular number. Okay, now if I execute, you'll see that this particular number would be converted to the integer. Now you can also check the type. So again, I can store in a num variable, and now I can print this particular type. Okay, now you see it would be converted to an integer. Now let's say I want to convert this particular number to the floating number. So what I can do, I can take a float function, and now if I execute this particular program, you'll see that it will be converted to the floating number. Okay, now if I also show you this particular number, see, it will become float number. Now let's say you are having one float number. Let's say this particular number you are having, let's say num is equal to, this is your float number. Now you want to convert this particular number to the integer format. Again, you can do it. Just call this particular integer method, integer function, and inside that try to pass this particular variable, and again try to store in a num variable. Okay, now if I execute, and if I show you the type of num, you'll see that it will convert to the integer. Now let me show you. See, it will be converted to the integer. Okay, so that's how we can convert like any data type to any other data type. Okay, but there is one thing actually you have to remember. Let's say whenever you are working with complex data. Okay, whenever you are working with complex data, let's say I'll take one complex data. So the complex data would be 4 plus 6j. Okay, let's say this is my complex data. It's fine. So if I show you the type of this particular data, it's a complex data. Okay, it's a complex data. Now let's say I want to convert this particular complex data to the integer. Okay, so what will happen? So let's say I'll call this particular integer, and inside that I'll pass this particular number. And now if I hit enter, you'll see that it will give me one error. It will tell argument must be a string, a bytes like an object, or a real number, not a complex number. That means you can pass any kinds of complex number, okay, to convert to the integer. Okay, to convert to the integer. Same thing will be happen for the float as well. Okay, same thing would be happen for the float as well. Because in complex number, you are having two kinds of data called real value and imaginary value. Okay, so that's why actually you can't directly convert this particular complex number to integer number or float number. So these are the actually restriction you have to remember whenever you are doing the type conversion. Otherwise, you can convert any kinds of data to any other data format. Okay, you can do the experiment. Just take your Jupyter notebook and try to write the code and try to execute one by one. You will automatically get the idea. So this is all about the type conversion. I hope it makes sense. What is the type conversion? And whenever I need any kinds of type, okay, if I'm taking any kinds of input from the user and all, that time actually I can use this particular type conversion concept. So yes guys, this is all about from this particular video. So thank you so much guys for watching this video, and I will see you next time. Hi everyone, welcome back with this particular video. In this particular video, we'll be learning another amazing concept inside Python called literals. A literals is nothing but whatever things you stored inside a variable, this is called literals. I think we have learned about the variable, right? Variable is nothing but it's just a container. Inside a variable, we can store any kinds of values. Let's say a is equal to 2. So here a is the variable, equal is the operator, and 2 is the values. But we can call that particular value as literal. So here a is the variable, equal is the operator, and 2 is the literal. So let's try to fire up our code editor and try to understand this particular literal in detail. So for this, I'm going to create a new notebook here. So let's say here a is equal to let's say 3. Okay, a is equal to 3, and now if I hit enter and if I print this particular a, so here if you see that 3 would be printed. So here a is nothing but a is a variable, equal is the operator. I'll discuss this particular operator in detail, no need to worry. As of now, just try to consider equal, plus, minus, multiply, division, whatever things actually we use, whatever symbol actually we use, we call it as an operator. And here this 3 is nothing but it's a literal. This particular 3 also can be called as a value, but we can also call it as literal. Now I hope guys this particular literal is clear. That means whatever value actually is stored inside a variable, this is called literal. And there are so many ways I can define this particular literal inside a variable. In this particular video, I'll show you each and everything. The way actually you can define the literal inside a variable. So guys, as of now, I think you have seen we can store any kinds of floating number, any kinds of integer number inside a variable. But apart from that, we can also set this particular literal in a different way. So let me show you some of the example. Now here you can see this particular 4 variable. So here I have written a is equal to ob 1010. If you are familiar with digital numbers, I think you know what I have written here. This is nothing but it's a binary literal. Okay, you can see. So here 0b, it is telling it's a binary number. Okay, and what is the number? This is the number. Now if you don't know like the digital number, what you can do, you can simply print this particular a. You will automatically get the actual number. Okay, so let me just print this particular a. Now see, if I print this particular a, you will see the number is 10. That means this is the binary representation of 10. Okay, that's why I told you, if you are familiar with digital number, I think you know what I am writing here. Okay, if you know the binary, decimal, hexadecimal, these are the number. Okay, these are the number convention and all, right? So this is called actually binary literals. Okay, in this case, so that's how also you can define a literals, or that's how also you can define a value inside a Python. Okay, now the second variable you can see, this is the decimal literal. Okay, the way actually we define our actually common literal like integer, float and all. So this is called decimal literal. Okay, this is the common thing, as we have already learned this particular decimal literal. So far actually we have already learned this particular decimal literal. Okay, so I don't need to explain it. Now let's go to the next one. See, if I print this particular b also, you'll see that 100 would be printed only. Okay, 100 would be printed only because it's a decimal literal. Now let's see the c1. See, inside c, actually if you see the first things I have written. 0 O means it is telling it's a octal literal. Okay, 0 means it's telling it's a octal literal, and this is the number. Okay, this is the number. Now let me show you the actual number. So just try to print this particular number. So print, see it's a 200. Okay, it's a 200. So 200 representation in a octal. Okay, now if you see the last one, that means D. Here I have written OX, that means it's a hexadecimal literal. Okay, you can see this is the number. Now if you print this particular number, this particular D, now this is the actual number, 300. Okay, you can see this is a 300 representation in the hexadecimal. Okay, hexadecimal literal. So that's how you can set your different literal, okay, with a different representation. So this was all about our binary, decimal, octal, and hexadecimal literal. Now let's try to see another amazing literal called floating, okay, or float literals. Okay, let me just write down float literals. So here you can see, guys, these are my float literals. So you can see this is the common one. As of now, we have used this particular floating literals in our variable and all. And see, there are two more floating literals actually we can define. So this is the first way. So you can also write like that, like 1.5e2. That means if you just decode it, so it would be like 1.5 times 10 to the power 2. Okay, so if you just write like that 1.5e2, that means you are writing 1.5 times 10 to the power 2. And you can see the float 3 literals. So here we are writing 1.5 e minus 3. That means 1.5 times 10 to the power minus 3. So here you can see this is a bigger number and this is a smaller number. So now if you want to print them, you can also print them and you can see what will be the actual number. So I can print this particular float one. So this would be the same number because we have already learned this is the common literal. You can see 10.5. But if I print this particular, let's say float 2 literal, you'll see that this is the number. That means if I'm writing 1.5e2, that means this is the number I want to represent. Now if I print this particular float 3, so this is the number. So you can see this is a very small number. Okay, that's how we can define any kinds of bigger number and any kinds of small number in this particular form. Okay, so this is called floating literals. The next thing we'll be understanding about complex literal. So here if you see, guys, I have defined one complex literal here. So you can see x is equal to 3.14j. So this is a complex number. So if you print this particular number, you can also print it. Let's say print x. So this is going to be my complex number. Now see, you can also take out the real number as well as the imaginary number from this particular complex literal. How? So for this, just try to call one attribute. See, inside complex type object, you are having two kinds of attribute. So this is a complex type object. Let me show you. So if I take a new cell, if I show you the type of x, you'll see that it's a complex type object. Okay, it's a complex type object. Now it is having two attributes. The first attribute is real. Okay, real. So if you want to take out the real number of this particular complex number, so you can call this particular attribute called real. Now see, if I execute the program, you'll see that 0.0 is a real number here. And if you want to see the imaginary number, so again, you can call another attribute called image. Okay, I think image. So now if I execute, see, it will tell you 3.14. Okay, it's actually imaginary number. That's actually you can separate out the real number as well as the imaginary number. Okay, if you are having this particular complex object type. Okay, so this is called actually complex literal, and that's how we can also define our complex literal. Now guys, apart from this particular binary, decimal, octal, hexadecimal, and float literal and complex literal, we are having some more literal. Let me show you. So here you can see this is called string literal. So that's how we can define a string. I think I already showed you. In a single quote you can write. Otherwise you can also write in a double quote. Okay, single quote, double quote, you can use anything. And if you want to define in character, you can just write one single character in a double quotation or in a single quotation. And you can also define your string in a triple quotation. Okay, triple quotation. Inside triple quotation also you can define a string. See, whenever we'll be using triple quotation to define our string. See, whenever we are having multi-line string. Okay, multi-line string, that time we'll be using triple quotation. So let me give you one example. Let's say if I take a new cell here. Okay, this is a new cell. Let's say info is a variable. Okay, and inside that I want to write a description. Okay, I want to write a description, and that would be considered as my actually string. Okay, string type data. So in this case, what I can do, I can take this particular triple quotation. Okay, inside triple quotation I can write like that. My name is Bappi. I am teaching Python. Okay, I am teaching Python. I am a data scientist. So this is called actually multi-line. Okay, multi-line string. Okay, now see, if I execute the program, it will work fine. You can see that it's working fine. But if I want to, define this particular string in a single quotation, see what will happen. Instead of, let's say, triple quotation, if I take single quotation, and if I just execute the program, see, it will give you one syntax error. Okay, it will give you one syntax error. So that's why whenever you are having multi-line string, that time you can use this particular triple quotation. Okay, triple quotation, inside that you can write your string type actually literal. Now you can also define Unicode type literal. Unicode is nothing but, see, nowadays actually we are having like different text over the internet. Like we are having like HTML, we are having text, we are having emojis, right? In a text actually there are different things are available. Now if you see any kinds of emoji encoding, okay, emoji encoding, emoji Unicode. See, there are different emoji Unicode you will get. Let me show you some of the list. See guys, these are like emoji Unicode, okay, different emoji Unicode. So if you are having this kinds of Unicode, okay, you can also define as a literal. Okay, and your Python will automatically try to understand what kinds of like literal you are trying to add here. Now the next one, you can see this is the raw string. In a raw string actually anything can be present. Let's say your text, any kinds of /n, /t, okay, /b, anything can be present. So this is called actually raw string. Okay, now if I execute all of them, you can see that this is my string, this is again my string, this is my character, this is my multi-line string, and this is the Unicode literal. You can see this is emoji. As I already told you, emoji is having different Unicode, okay, in this particular list, and it is printing the emoji directly. Okay, it is printing the emoji directly, and this is my raw string. Okay, this is my raw string. You can see raw /n string. See, if I'm not giving this particular r, this particular /n would be considered as my new line. Okay, see, if I execute the program, see, now you can see that after raw, it will give you one new line and it will print this particular string. But if I want this particular /n, so I need to provide this particular r. Okay, now see, it will give me that particular /n. That's how we can define different literal. Okay, so apart from that, we're having some more literal. Let me show you. So here you can see this is called Boolean type literal. You can see here I'm using true and false statement. See, in Python, true represent 1. So let me just write down here. Or I can just do a comment. So true is nothing but it's a 1. And false is nothing but it's a 0. That means whenever I'm writing this particular statement, true plus 4. Okay, true plus 4. What is true? Okay, what is true? True is nothing but it's a 1. By default, it's a 1 only, right? So 1 plus 4, it would be 5. Okay, and false plus 10, you can see false is equal to 0. That means 0 plus 10 would be 10. Now see, if I execute this particular program, you'll see the output. That means 1 plus 4, it's a 5, and 0 plus 10, it's a 10 only. Okay, so that's how actually Boolean literal works. Okay, it would be considered as 1 and 0. Okay, whenever you are defining true and false. So there is another type of literal is available, which is nothing but none. Okay, none type literal. So sometimes we also define the none type variable. So let's say a is equal to none. Okay, so this is called none type literal. Here you can see this is a none. So if I print this particular variable, so inside this particular variable I'm having nothing. Okay, that's means nones. So why we give this particular none? Because see, in other programming we define our variable at the very first, like whether it's an integer or it's a floating or it's a character type variable, right? We can define at the very first, but in Python we can't. So let me give you one example. Let's say x is equal to, let's say x. Okay, only x I have written, or I can just write x is equal to empty, nothing. Then y is equal to 2, and let's say z is equal to 4. Okay, now if I print X, Y, and Z. See, it will give me one error. It will give me one syntax error. It is telling invalid syntax. It is telling what you have defined here. Okay, I can't see anything here. Inside Python, actually, you can't do it. So if you want to create an empty variable, if you don't want to store anything there, you can take this particular none type literal. And if I execute now, see, this particular program is working right now. So it is printing none, then 2 and 4. Okay, so this is called none type literal inside Python. So I hope guys this makes sense and you got the entire understanding of this particular literal inside Python. If you have liked this particular video, you can share this video with your friends and family, and please try to subscribe to the channel. With that guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time. Hi everyone, welcome back with this particular video. In this particular video, we'll be understanding one very important Python concept called operators. So going forward, whenever you'll be writing the code, you'll be implementing different projects. So this particular concept will help you a lot. So in this particular video, I'll give you the entire understanding on top of this particular operators. So inside Python, we're having 6 types of operator. We'll be exploring all of them one by one, and we'll try to understand their use cases and all. Okay. So instead of talking too much, let's get started with our operators. See, what is operator? If you want to perform any operation with respect to 2 operand or more than 2 operand, and to perform that particular operation, the symbol actually use that is called operators. So what I told, let me give you one example. Let's say there is a 2 number. Let's say A is equal to 2 and B is equal to 3. So let's say I want to add this particular 2 number. What I will do, I'll just write A plus B. Okay. So if you add this particular number, so you will get 5 here. Okay. You will get 5 here. So here you can see A and B is operand. Okay. A and B is a operand. And the operation you are performing, which is nothing but add operation. Okay, which is nothing but add operation. So this is called actually operator. This is called operator. Okay, that means you are using some symbol to perform this particular operation. Okay, so this is called the operation, the entire operation you are doing, A plus B, right? A plus B. This is called operation. This is called add operation. Nah? This is called add operation. So that means to perform any kinds of operation, you are using some operands. You are using some operands like A and B. And to perform that particular operation, you are using one specific symbol. In this case, actually, you are using add, right? This particular add, that means plus symbol. Okay, this is called operator. So it can be any kinds of symbol. It can be minus symbol. It can be multiplication symbol. It can be, let's say, a division symbol. Okay, it can be modulus symbol. It can be equal symbol. Okay, so this is called actually operator. This is called actually operators. So this is called actually operator inside programming. So in every programming language, you are having this kinds of operator, but inside Python, you are having 6 types. Okay, 6 types of operator. I'll tell you all of the 6 types. I will tell you one by one. Okay, each and everything would be clear. So here the operator actually I have written, this is called arithmetic operator. This is called arithmetic operator. Okay, arithmetic operator, because you only use these are the operator to perform the arithmetic operation. Let's say addition, division, subtraction, multiplication, right? So now let's go to our code editor and try to understand this particular operator in detail. So guys, you can see I already told you inside Python we are having 6 types of operator. You can see we are having arithmetic operator, relational operator, logical operator, then we are having bitwise operator, assignment operator, and membership operators. So these 6 types of operator will be learning one by one. Okay, each and everything I'll be discussing in front of you. So the operator actually I have written on my blackboard is called arithmetic operator. The common things actually you use in your mathematics like addition, division, subtraction, and so on, right? So first of all, let's try to see this particular arithmetic operators. Okay, like how we can perform with the help of Python. So I'll copy the arithmetic operator and I will just make a comment here, arithmetic operator. So it's like very easy. See, arithmetic operator, it's nothing but you are just doing the mathematical operation. Let's say I want to add 2 number. Let's say I want to add 4 plus, let's say 3. Okay, 4 plus 3. 4 plus 3. So it will give me 7. So instead of giving a comment, what I can do, I think create a markdown. It would be better. So after this particular cell, I can create a new cell and I can mark it as markdown. Arithmetic operators. Yeah, fine. Now it is fine. So this is actually addition operator. Okay, this is called addition operator. Now let's see any other operator. So let's say I want to subtract a value. Let's say 4 minus 3. So this is called subtraction operator. Then we are also having something called multiplication operator. Let's say 4 times 3. This is called multiplication operator. Then we're having division operator. Let's say 4 divided by 2. So this would be the answer. And we are also having integer division operator. Okay, so what is integer division operator? Let me show you. So in this case, actually, you have to give this particular double slash. Okay, double slash. Now if I give 2, now see the output. See what is the difference between your like division operator and integer division operator. You can see whenever I perform this particular division operation, so here I was getting the remainder which is nothing but 0. Okay, because it is giving me the floating value. But whenever I'm using integer division operator, you can see whenever I perform the division operation, it will only give the integer number. That means remainder it won't be give me. Okay, it will only give the actual number, which is nothing but 2. Okay, that means it's an integer. It is converting everything to an integer representation. Okay, so this is called actually integer division operator. We are also having something called modular operator. So let me show you. So this is the modular operator. So what modular operator returns, actually it will give you the remainder if you perform any kinds of division. Okay, after performing any kinds of division, if you get any kinds of remainder, it will give you that particular remainder. In this case, actually you can see I did the division 4 divided by 2. I got 2.0. So it is giving me the whole number. When I perform the integer division, it will give me only the actual number. And if you perform the modulus operation, okay, it will only give you the remainder. Okay, in this particular case, which is nothing but 0, right? And if you want to perform like power operation, you can use this particular operator. So this is the power operator. Okay, you have to give double star, and if I give any number, let's say 5 double star 2, so it will give you the results. So that means you have written a 5 to the power 2, and the answer would be 25. Okay, and these are the operator you will be using broad linear programming, because every time you have to perform the mathematical operation and all. Okay, whenever you will be doing the coding, and these are like very common arithmetic operation. Okay, they will be using in your programming journey. Then the next thing will be exploring the relational operator. Okay, so let's see the relational operator. So let me just do the markdown here. So relational operators is nothing but this particular operator tries to find out the relation between two number. Okay, so let's say, let me give you one example. Let's say if I just write 4 is greater than let's say 5. Okay, just try to pause the video and tell me whether this particular 4 is greater than 5 or not. Okay, if yes, you can give 2, otherwise you can give false. Okay, now let me execute and show you what will be the output. See, it is giving me false. Okay, because this particular relation is not true. Okay, 4 is not greater than 5. Okay, that's why it's false. Now similar wise, I can also check 4 is less than 5. Okay, 4 is less than 5 or not. If I execute, see, it's true. So this is called actually relational operators. Okay, that means it is trying to find out the relation between two numbers. We are having some more relational operator. I can also check like that. So 4 is greater than and equal to 4 or not. Okay, 4 is greater than and equal to 4 or not. You can see it's true, because here I have written 4 is greater than. Okay, greater than and equal to. Greater than and equal to, you can see it's not greater than, but it's equal to. Okay, it's equal to 4. That's why it's true. Now same condition you can do it for the lesser than as well. So 4 is lesser than 4 or equal or not. Okay, it's not lesser than, but it's equal to 4. Okay, that's why again it's a true. Then you can also check like that. So 4 is equal 4 or not. Okay, again it would be true, because 4 is equal 4. 4 is not equal 4. Okay, 4 is not equal 4 or not. You can see false, because 4 is equal 4. Okay, because 4 is equal 4. Okay, it's not equal 4, because 4 is 4, right? So that's why actually it's coming false. So these are my relational operators, and these are the operator actually you'll be using broadly in your programming as well. Okay, so now we'll be learning the next operator, which is nothing but my logical operator. Okay, I'll copy logical operators. So I think you're already familiar with logical gates, right? Like you have learned in your school and college days. I think you heard of like AND gate, OR gate, okay, then NOT gate. So these are the thing actually, the logical operators. So let me give you one example. So let's say if I'm writing this particular statement, so 1 and 0, okay, Now just tell me what will be the output here. Okay, if I execute this particular program, what will be the output? See, if I execute, it would be 0. Why? Because I think you already know what is AND. So see, I think you remember this AND truth table. Okay, now how we used to draw this particular truth table. Let me just draw it. So this is my X and Y, and this is my output. So let's say 1 1 1 0 0 1 and 0 0. Okay, so whenever I'm talking about AND actually operator, that means AND logical table, that means if 2 gate is open, okay, if 2 gate is open, so it would be 1, output should be 1. Let's say here both case actually you can see 1 and 1, so it should be 1. And if anyone is off, we can see it's 0, that means it would be 0. Again you can see this particular X is 0 and Y is 1, that means one gate is open here, so it would be 0 again. And in this case actually both is 0, that means both is open. Okay, so it would be again 0. So this is called AND table. Okay, so now I think you remember whenever I'm writing 1 and 0, okay, that means it would be 0, because so here you can see this particular gate is not closed. Okay, so that's why it's giving 0. Now if I give, let's say 1 and 1, it would be 1, because both gate is closed right now. Okay, 1 and 1. So that's how you can try with all the number. Let's say 0 and 1. Okay, you can see again it would be 0 because this particular gate is open. And why it is giving 0 1 and all? Because I told you whenever it is giving you 1, that means it is telling it's a true. Whenever it is giving 0, that means it is telling false, because in Python 0 would be considered as false and 1 would be considered as true. Okay, so that's how actually you can play with this particular logical operator. Okay, I think you know the logical operator, right? I already showed you the table and all. Okay, and if you don't know this particular table, what you can do, you can simply search on Google logical. You can search about logical truth table. You can go to the image, and here you will get all the table. Okay, one by one you can see. Okay, so this is the AND table. I have showed you this particular AND table. Let me open this particular table. So here you can see this particular table. This is the AND table, this is the OR table, this is the XOR table, and this is the NOT table. Okay, so this is called actually AND, a logical operator. Now we are having another logical operator called OR. Okay, so let me also show you the OR example. So let me just write down. Let's say if I just write 1 or 0. Okay, now tell me what will be the output. Just try to open up this particular table and try to see. Whenever I'm talking about OR, that means if you have 0 and 0, that means 2 gate is open, it would be 0. Okay, so at least 1 gate should be closed. Okay, then it would be 1. You can see 0 and 1, that means this gate is closed, that means output should be 1. Again 1, this gate is open, this gate is closed, this gate is open, again it's 1. And if both gate is open, that means again it's 1. That means if like 2 of the gate is open, that means it would be 0. Otherwise, if 1 of the gate is closed, it would be 1. Okay, this is called OR truth table. So here I have written 1 or 0. That means 1 gate is closed and output should be true. You can see it would be 1, because in case 1 gate is closed here. Now again you can try with a number. Let's say if I give 0 and 0, it would be 0. If I give 0 or 1, it would be 1. Okay, that's how you can play with this particular OR logical operator. Now there is another one called NOT gate. So I can write NOT 1. Okay, NOT 1. So you can see this particular NOT gate, NOT truth table. So it will convert 0 as 1 and 1 as 0. That means false would be converted to as true, and true would be converted as false. Okay, now we can see I've just written NOT 1. Okay, NOT 1. That means it would be convert to false. Okay, it would be convert to false, and false means it's 0. So by default Python doesn't give 0, it will give you false. Okay, now if I write this particular statement, not 0, it would be true. Okay, the opposite one. Okay, it would be true. So this is all about our logical operators. Now let me show you the next one, which is nothing but bitwise operator. So this particular bitwise operators is a special operators that works with the binary number. So here you can see this is called actually bitwise operator, and you can see there are so many bitwise operators are available, like bitwise AND, bitwise OR, bitwise XOR, bitwise NOT. Then we're having right shift and left shift. So if you are familiar with digital numbers, that means the binary numbers, decimal numbers. Okay, I think you are already familiar with these are the concept, right? Like AND, OR, XOR, NOT, left shift, right shift. Okay, you have already worked with binary numbers. So these kinds of actually special operators actually sometimes you will be using in your code. But see, this is not actually very used in the programming. sometimes you'll be working whenever, let's say, we'll be working with the images. Okay, in computer vision you will be manipulating the image, you will be working with the arrays and all. Okay, that time actually you may use these are the concept, but most of the time actually I haven't seen people are using these are the operator in their programming. But again, it is a useful actually concept, that's why I'm teaching you. Okay, it's required for you. So first of all, let's try to understand this particular bitwise AND. Okay, bitwise AND, how this bitwise AND works. So if I execute this particular program, see, so let me individually execute this particular program and let me show you. See, if I execute this particular bitwise AND, okay, see what will the output? The output is 2. How it is giving me this particular output as 2, let me show you. Okay, if I just give you one example, rest of the example you can automatically understand by yourself. Okay, so I'll go to my blackboard, and here what I have written 2 and 3, 2 bitwise and 3, right? So see, if I represent this particular 2 as a binary number, so what would be the number? So 2 as a binary, it would be 0, 1, 0, if I'm not wrong. So see, this is the 2 representation in binary, and if I represent the 3 in binary, it would be like that, 1, 1, 0. So now if you perform AND operation, okay, because this is an AND symbol, right? It's a bitwise AND symbol. Now if you perform AND operation with this particular number, so as I already told you, the AND table, I think you remember, this is the AND table. So if 2 gate is closed, that means output would be 1. Otherwise, if one of the gate is open, output would be 0. Okay, now you can see 0, 1, that means it would be 0, 1, 1, it would be 1, and 0, 0, it would be 0. Now again, this particular binary number is representing 2. You can see it's representing 2. So that's why this particular number, it is coming as 2. Okay, now I hope this particular concept is clear. Okay, how this particular bitwise operator is working. First of all, it is trying to convert everything to the binary representation, then this operation is happening. Okay, now similar wise, I can also show you the bitwise OR. Now if I execute this particular program, see, output is 3. So again, let's get back to our blackboard. Now you can see, now instead of performing AND operation, now we'll be performing OR operation. Okay, like again, I'm using the same number, 2 and 3. Okay, 2 and 3. So this is the representation of 2, this is the representation of 3. Or means if any gate is closed, that means it would be 1. Okay, so again it would be 1, it would be 1, and this would be 0. Now you can see this particular number represents 3. Okay, this particular number represents 3. Okay, that's why this output is 3. So now I think you can understand how XOR is working, NOT is working. Okay, you can simply search this particular truth table, the binary representation of this number, and you can simply do this particular operation. You will get the idea. Okay, I'm expecting you are already familiar with these are the digital numbers. Okay, I think you have learned in your school and college days. So now let me execute all of them. Now you can see all of the output. So I already explained these are the 2 things. So 2 and 3. Then you are performing XOR operation, and this is the output. Then you are performing bitwise NOT operation. This is the output. NOT means like it will do the opposite. Like if you are getting 1, it would be converted as 0. If we are getting 0, it would be converted as 1. Okay, so here I've written this particular symbol represents NOT. Okay, bitwise NOT. Here you've written this particular tilde 3, that means bitwise NOT. Now you can see this is the opposite of 3, that means -4. Okay, now there is another one called right shift and left shift. Right shift means you are first of all converting this particular 4 to the binary, then you are shifting like 2 number. Okay, 2 number right side. Okay, this is called right shift, and this is called left shift. Here you are shifting left side. Okay, 2 number. So you can search this particular concept. This is the concept of digital electronics. I think you will get the idea. Okay, so this is actually our bitwise actually operator, and this particular operator actually very less used, okay, in our programming. But again, whenever you need it, definitely you can also use this particular operator. I already explained here. Now the next operator we'll be learning called this one, assignment operator. Okay, so assignment operator is like very simple operator. We have already used this particular operator broadly. Okay, see, let me first of all show you this particular assignment operator. See, assignment operator is nothing but it's a equal sign only. Okay, as of now, see, we have written equal a lot. Okay, in our program, you can see we have used this particular equal. Okay, equal sign. Okay, equal sign. So this is called actually assignment operator. You're assigning something. Let's say here if I write a is equal to 2. Okay, here you are assigning this particular 2 inside a. Okay, with the help of this particular assign operator. Okay, now you can use this particular assign operator there are so many ways you can use. You can also write like that, let's say, or I can take a new cell. So here I can write a is equal to 2. Okay, now if I write like that, a plus and equal 1. So now if I execute this particular program, what will happen? Okay, if I print this particular a, now what will happen? See, a will become 3 right now. Why? Because you can see previously a was 2. Okay, now what I have done, I just told plus and equal, that means it will add 1, okay, with this particular 2. Okay, now it will become 3. So that's how also you can use assignment operator. Okay, with the help of any other operator. Okay, with the help of any other operator, let's say arithmetic, logical. Okay, you can use this particular assignment operator. Assignment operator can be used everywhere. Okay, that's why. Now similar wise, you can also write for like that. You can also subtract the value. Okay, you can also multiply the value. Okay, you can also divide the value. Okay, everything is possible here. Okay, everything is possible. You can try all of them one by one. Okay, and you remember in other programming language we used to write like that. So we used to write a plus plus. That means it will increase this particular number 1. Okay, then we used to also write like that, plus plus a. Okay, first of all it will increase, then it will update. So this is actually concept of other programming language, but in Python they have made this particular statement very easy. That's how. See, this is like more readable than that one. Sometimes we get also because sometimes we get confused with this particular statement. Okay, that's why Python did this particular easy statement. Okay, yeah. So this is actually our assignment operator. Okay, it's nothing, only the equal sign actually we're using, and this particular equal can be used with any other operator. Now the last operator we'll be learning called membership operator. See, membership operator is like very powerful inside Python. Okay, so let me give you one example. So first of all, let me write this particular operator. So let me write down in a comment. So in membership we use two kinds of operator. One is like in, another is not in. Okay, in and not in. Okay, these are the two operator we are having. Okay, inside membership operator. Now let me give you one example. Let's say, okay, M in Mumbai. Tell me whether this particular M is present in Mumbai or not. Definitely it is present. You can see at the very first position. Now if I execute this particular program, it will give me true. That means this particular M is present. Okay, now if I just write D is present in Mumbai or not, it will give me false because D is not present. Okay, inside that. So let me just replace with M. Okay. So this is the work of in. Okay, this is the work of in. So if I'm not using this particular membership operator, at the time what I have to do, I have to write a for loop. I'll be discussing this particular for loop in detail. Okay, what is this for loop? With the help of for loop, actually how we can find a value or number, okay, in a text. We'll be learning this part as well. See, if you're using for loop, your time complexity will increase in this particular case. But if you're using this membership operator, it's like very robust implementation. Okay, so it will give you like very quick result. Okay, so that's why this particular membership operator is like very powerful. So it can easily find out something in a given text. Now you can ask me, it is only working with the text or not? It can work with any other data type or not? Definitely it can also work with other data types. So let me show you another example. But before that, let me show you this not in as well. So now you can simply write not in. Okay, M not in Mumbai. Okay, now see, it will give you false because it is already present. Okay, it is already present. That's why it's giving me false. I've written not in, whether it's not in or not, but I can see it's present. That's why it's false. But here if I write D not in Mumbai, D is not there inside Mumbai, definitely it will give me true. Okay, this is the not in, and previous one is your in one, right? Now the next one I'll be showing you with the with any other data type. So let's say if I write one in present inside this particular list or not. So list is 1 2 3 4. Okay, now if I hit enter, you will see it's true because one is present inside this particular list. Okay, not in means it would be false because it is already present here. Okay, but if I write 10, okay, it's not present, that's why it's giving me true. Okay, that's how also you can work with any other data type as well. So this is a list data type I'm using, so I'll be discussing about this particular list and all, okay, going forward. So it can be worked with list, string, tuple, okay, dictionary, any kinds of data type you can use with this particular membership operators. Okay, so yes guys, this is all about our operators inside Python. All 6 kinds of operator we have explored one by one, like arithmetic operator, relational operator, then logical, bitwise, assignment, and membership operators. Okay, now in the next video we'll be doing one exercise, hands-on exercise with the help of this particular operator concept. Then I think this particular concept will be more clear. Okay, so I hope guys you like this particular video, so please try to subscribe to the channel and try to share this particular video with your friends and family. So thank you so much guys for watching this video, and I will see you next time. Hello everyone, welcome back. So in our previous video I was discussing about the operators inside Python. So in this particular video I will do one small exercise with the help of operator concept you have learned. So here we'll try to solve this particular exercise, guys, called find the sum of a 3-digit number entered by the user. So let's say user has passed, let's say 1, 2, and 3. So I just need to do the sum operation of 1, 2, and 3. So let's say user has passed 1, 2, and 3. So if you calculate the sum of this particular number, you will get 6. Okay. So that's how I have to make a program here. So I think you have learned how to take the input from the user. I already taught you this particular concept. For this, we can use input function from Python. So let's say I'll take a variable called number, and here I'll take an input from the user. So here I'll give a message, enter 3 numbers. Okay, 3 numbers to perform sum operation. Okay, to perform sum. Okay, that's how I can write. See, this particular program I'll be writing in a slightly different way so that I can give you the example of this particular operator. Okay, how it can be used. See, instead of taking the number individually, I'll take in just one input. Okay, let's say user want to perform some operation of this particular number. Let's say 3, 4, and 5. Okay, 3, 4, and 5. So user will give like that. User will give 345 like that. Okay. Now, if I perform the sum operation of this particular 3 plus 4 and 5. Okay, so I have to convert like that. 3 plus 4 and 5. User will pass like that, but I have to convert like that. Okay, now if I show you this particular sum, it would be 12. Okay, so that's how actually I have to design this particular program. So how we can take this particular input? See, now if I print this particular number here. Now let's say user is giving like that 3, 4, and 5. And I will get 3, 4, and 5, okay, as an output. But you can see if I show you this particular type, so this is nothing but it's a string type. 3, 4, and 5, it's a string type. So what I have to do, I have to convert this particular number to an integer. Okay, how to convert? I can perform typecasting. I already taught you this particular typecasting as well, right? So that's how I can convert to integer typecasting. Now if I again pass the number, let's say 3, 4, and 5, I'll see that this particular number has converted to the integer form right now. Now what I have to do to separate this particular number individually, you can see user has passed 3, 4, and 5. That means 345. But I have to separate 3, 4, and 5 separately. That means I have to keep this particular 3 in a variable, 4 inside B variable, and 5 inside C variable. So how we can separate out this particular number? So let's do one mathematical experiment. If you are familiar with mathematics, I think you know how we can do it. So see, if you just calculate the modulus, okay, if you just calculate the modulus of this particular number with the help of 10, okay, if you just calculate the modulus of this particular number with the help of 10, okay, see, what is the remainder actually you will get? You will get 5. So how modular works, I already told you. It will give you the remainder. Okay, it will give you the remainder after performing the division operation. Now I think you got to know. Okay, so if I'm using modular, I can easily can get the last number of this particular number. You can see last digit I can get of this particular number. It can be any number. Let's say if I'm considering 333. Okay, so if I just calculate the modulus with the help of 10, you'll see that it will give me 3. See here, easily I'm getting the last number. Let's say it can be also 5. I'll get the 5. That means I got one pattern. If I'm doing the modular operation with the help of 10, I can get the last number. So what I will do, from the last itself, I will collect the number one by one. Okay, this is the idea. So here simply what I will do, the number actually I'm getting, I'll just perform the modulus operation with the help of 10. Okay, with the help of 10. And the number actually I will get here, the last number, which is nothing but the 5. So this particular 5 I will store in a variable. So this is going to be my A. Okay, this is going to be my A. Because see, if you do the addition operation from the first or from the last, it will be the same output. Let's say if I do the addition operation like that, let's say this is my number 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 3 plus 4 plus 5, I'll get 12. If I do like that, let's say 5 plus 4 plus 3, see, I'll get the same output. So order doesn't matter. You can take this particular number in any variable. It doesn't matter here. Okay, that's the thing actually I just wanted to tell you here. So here what I have done, let me just comment out. I think it would be easy for you to do the revision. So here the number actually I'm getting from the user, let's say user is passing 3, 4, 5. So I'm just doing the modulus operation with the help of 10, and it is giving me, okay, it is giving me this particular 5 as an output. Okay, now let me show you. So if I print this particular A. If I print this particular A, if I execute the program, let's say user will give 3, 4, and 5. I'll get 5 here. Okay, 5 here. That means this particular 5 I have extracted successfully. Now the next thing what I have to extract. So you can see I have extracted 5 successfully. It's working fine. Now I have to extract this particular 4. Okay, I have to extract this particular 4. But how I can extract this particular 4? Now if I again think in the terms of mathematics, so what will happen? Let's say there is a number, let's say 3, 4, and 5. Now if I perform integer division, okay, with the help of 10, see what will happen. See here I'm getting this particular 2 number, that means 34. Because how integer like division works, I already told you. It will only give you the integer number. Okay, let's say if I do the division with the help of 10, it will give me 34.5. But if I perform the integer division, it will only give me the 34. That means the integer number. Okay, that is the idea. That's how it's working. Now easily I can get this particular 34. But if I want to get, okay, if I want to get this particular 4 from this particular 34, so what I have to do, I'll copy this particular 34, and here again I can do the modulus operation with the help of 10. Now see, here I'm getting the 4. That means what I have to do, first of all I have to perform integer division, then I will get 34, then again I'll take the modulus with the help of 10, then I'll get this particular 4 here. That means what will happen, this particular number, the entire number I'm getting, first of all I'll take the integer division with the help of 10. Okay, I'll get the integer division with the help of 10, and I will store in a variable called number. This particular number I'll take a modulus, okay, with the help of 10, and I will store in a variable called b, because I have successfully extracted 4 from this particular number. Now let me show you this particular b. So now if I just write 3, 4, and 5, see, successfully I'm able to get the 4, okay, inside b. You can see 4 has been extracted. So this is the logic. So what I'm doing here, so 3, 4, 5, first of all I'm taking the integer division with the help of 10, and it will give me something called 34. Then this particular 34, I'm again doing the modulus operation with the help of 10, so this will give me 4. Okay, and this particular 4 actually I'm getting inside that. Now here to get this particular 3, what I can do, you can see inside this particular number variable I'm getting 34. I'm getting 34, I think you saw, I'm getting 34. Now if I again just do the integer division of 34 with the help of 10, what I will get 3. Okay, I'll get 3 here. And if I just do the modulus of 3, okay, with the help of 10, I'll get 3. Okay, so again I will do the same things. The things actually have performed here. First of all I have to do the modulus. So first of all I have to do the integer division, then I have to do the modulus operation. So I can do the same thing. So here I can do the same thing. I'll first of all take this particular number, I will perform integer division with the help of 10. So it will give me the number again. Then the number actually I got, I'll perform the modulus with the help of 10. And this will give me the C. That means the last value. Okay, last value. That means here you are doing 3 modulus 10, and the output you are getting 3. Now if I print all of the number one by one, that means A, B, and C, you'll see that 3, 4, and 5, I'm getting 5, 4, and 3. Okay, one by one, 5, 4, and 3. Now I can easily do the sum operation. So to perform the sum operation, I'll take a variable called result. Okay, result equal to A plus B plus C, and simply I'll just print this particular result. Okay, now if I execute this particular program 3, 4, and 5, you'll see that my result would be 12. Now let's give some other number. Let's say I'll give 6, 7, and 8. I'll get 21. That means this particular program is working fine. And here you got to know how we can use this particular operator, different operator to actually perform this particular program, right? So that's how actually you can do lots of hands-on. You can here you have done for the summation operation, that means the addition operation. You can also do for the subtraction, multiplication, okay, division, everything you can perform here. So I'll give you one task. What you can do, you can perform for the subtraction then like division, as well as the this one multiplication. So these are the actually 3 tasks actually you can perform by your end. Now let me delete these are the things, it's not required. So yes, I hope guys this particular exercise is clear, and please try to execute this particular program. Just try to write this particular program by referring this particular video, then this particular concept would be more clear. So with that guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time.